Boots on the floor and laughter in the air. Stories get bigger with every chair. From travelers passing to folks from the farm. Everybody's welcome by the fire so warm. Even the Asians, come on down to the Crown and the Bear. Pull up a stool, we've got time to spare. Raise a glass with the friends you'll meet there at the old wooden bar of the Crown and the Bear. We accept Italians as well. The fiddles might play and the ale runs free. Old Tom's telling tales from '83. The barkeep smiles like you've always been there. That's life every night at the Crown and the Bear. Just don't make it gay, my friend. Come on down to the Crown and the Bear. Pull up a stool, we've got time to spare. Raise a glass with the friends you'll meet there at the old wooden bar of the Crown and the Bear.
Where $20 is $20.
So if the rain falls down on your day and the miles feel heavy along the way, there's a light in the window and folks who care waiting for you at the Crown and the Bear.
I guess I'll have a coat.
Come on down to the Crown and the Bear, where the fire's warm and the hearts are fair. You might walk in alone, but you'll never stay that way at the Crown and the Bear. Yeah, the Crown and the Bear.
And I just don't think it's going to be as crazy.
To the internet.
When the day's been long and the road feels rough and the world outside's had quite enough, there's a lantern glow
Same
at
response.
the end of the square, a friendly old place called the Crown and the Bear. Boots on the floor and laughter in the air. Stories get bigger with every chair. From travelers passing to folks from the farm. Everybody's welcome by the fire so warm. Even the Asians, come on down to the Crown and the Bear. Pull up a stool, we've got time to spare. Raise a glass with the friends you'll meet there at the old wooden bar of the Crown and the Bear. We accept Italians as well. The fiddles might play and the ale runs free. Old Tom's telling tales from '83. The barkeep smiles like you've always been there. That's life every night at the Crown and the Bear. Just don't make it gay, my friend. Come on down to the Crown and the Bear. Pull up a stool, we've got time to spare. Raise a glass with the friends you'll meet there at the old wooden bar of the Crown and the Bear.
Where $20 is
Vomiting
$20.
gourd.
So if the rain falls down on your day and the miles feel heavy along the way, there's a light in the window and folks who care waiting for you at the Crown and the Bear.
I guess I'll have a coat.
Come on down to the Crown and the Bear, where the fire's warm and the hearts are fair. You might walk in alone, but you'll never stay that way at the Crown and the Bear. Yeah, the Crown and the Bear.
And I just don't think it's going to be as crazy.
All right. Da,
All
da,
right.
da. Welcome to the great me.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome. Better. Now streaming live where all people can hear. All right. Good morning. Good morning, Gordicus.
Good
I can-
morning.
I
How are
can tell
doing?
you've only begun to shake and bake.
I have. I have. I don't even think the shaking part has occurred just yet. We're still baking.
We're still biking. All right, let me get rid of this right now. We don't need that showing up. We're still doing intros. People need to know. They don't need to see all that. But it is funny because the what's happening bar here on the side on the Twitters has went from death to America and hashtag Antichrist.
Oh wow.
A little
Switch
bit.
quite yeah, switched quite a bit from that to it's like, you know what, maybe we'll tone it down a little bit to well, a bit. Well, it's like we got Rangers, not
War crimes.
Patrick
War,
Reed, and War Crimes.
war crimes in all
War
caps.
Crimes!
War crimes. Oh man. So yeah, they're having a
Yeah,
real one.
3 out of 4. 3 out of 4.
Hmm.
I have some of those, like, the ones I have is I do have, War Crimes is my top one, and then something about not I don't know what the not thing is. Then the other ones I have are something called hashtag hooligan and Ron Johnson. Those are my what's happened.
Not.
What is the yeah, the not one is kinda getting it's like, okay, what the heck is this? What
Okay.
is the not thing?
Who's going on with the
Uh,
not? Not. Oh. Actually, I better not open that up.
okay, I think I know what it is then. Alright. I think I get what this is from. I just the sports thing threw me off because wrestling sports. Sure. Um, I mean, I get there's athleticism involved in wrestling, don't get me wrong. It's just it's a drama. It's not
Oh,
really
okay.
a sport. But okay, so I know I saw a video circulating last night where one wrestler, like they were doing a vignette, well, not a vignette, they were doing a thing where like one wrestler was talking to another, and the person they're facing at WrestleMania is supposed to like jump him, and I guess they sort of botched it, and she kind of hit one girl from behind, and like she hit her head pretty hard with the other person,
Yeah.
and so of the they have a picture of the girl who is supposed who I guess got hurt and everything, and she has this pretty gnarly knot on the top of her head. You know, it's like I guess she's fine otherwise, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she's got like a pretty funny looking knot on her head, and I guess that's what
Ah.
that's all about. And I'm like,
Okay.
oh, okay.
Oh, the
So she hit
not.
her head, and it's got the knot to show it. It's a pretty big old what is it? What's the word?
Goose egg.
Big old hematoma.
Hemat-
Big old hematoma on that forehead. It's
oh.
like it's like the living boil on the kid's face and Fairly Odd Parents. Silence, you fool.
Well,
So that mystery has been
thank
unraveled.
you. Thank
You
you,
know what
because
it
it says
is.
sports and training. Okay, now I got hooligan over here. All right. Cannoli, good morning, sir. You got one
Morning,
more
morning.
day until the vacay. You got
Babe.
that. I crowned on the bear. uh,
Gosh.
that sounds like
I mean,
birth,
it's like what were
birth,
you? It's like you were
crowning.
laying on a bear and either
Like,
you gave birth or you took a giant crap.
okay. So I was gonna lead from birth to taking a big crap to he just shit on the bear morning. Okay, well, nice to see. Top of the morning to you, buddy. Hashtag hooligan. There we go. Now we got that figured out. He
Now
dropped a
war
hooligan.
crimes. No, no.
Yeah, war crimes. War crave. Oh
War
man.
crimes.
So, mm. But we had
Is
our
hooligan
Easter.
is
Sorry.
hooligan
Go
like
ahead.
a music? I was gonna say is the hooligan thing like a musician or something like that? I guess.
Yeah, wasn't there a movie called Hooligan? But I mean, this is obviously it's in music trending. So hashtag hooligan. How would you name? I guess that's a cool name for
Is this K-pop? Is this what this is?
it's
Is that
not.
what I'm looking at?
Oh wait, maybe that's like like hooligan. Like like they're doing a playoff of that. No.
I don't know. I don't know. I
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm every link I'm seeing or everything I'm seeing related to Hooligan is some what looks like a Korean boy band.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, so my interest,
Oh,
which
wait. It
never
says
quite peaked, has still managed to hit
it
its
says
highest point.
trending with Run BTS. So yeah, that's that BTS. I think that's uh a band, Korean band. So
Is that like Timu Run DMC?
I don't know, but I think there's pills you can take for it.
Mm.
You know, I got the Run BTS.
I got the runs BTS. It's got runs back to school.
Back to school. Oh, what the fuck? Is that what that means?
I
BTS?
don't know. I don't know. I just
That's
that for a second came
that
to my
sounds
mind.
like what a predator would name their band.
Oh gosh, that's horrible.
Oh, terrible. All right. Let's start getting into this. I'm gonna bring this up for people viewing. We got blah blah blah. We got the Grand Theft Auto. So this
Oh,
video, yeah. Well, the last week I think, maybe it was last week, maybe it was 2 weeks ago. I don't know. That you brought up about possibly getting into GTA 5.
yeah.
Um,
Which I've still played a bit. I didn't get a chance to play yesterday,
yeah.
but I have been playing it lately and have
Did you ever
pretty
stream
enjoyed playing
it?
it. I haven't streamed it yet. I actually, but I did because I didn't really have time to stream last week.
Hmm.
If I finish my video in the next couple of days, I'll probably do a stream. But I did create a thumbnail for it, like kind of
Hmm.
a one of those GTA ones with the panels and stuff, but put myself in one of the panels. So
Yeah. Oh, cool, cool, cool. I know exactly what you're saying. Let's see, Canelli. I'm gonna be near James Gunn's office at Warner Brothers in the next few days. Do you want me to leave any message for him?
think Billy Madison and the flaming bag.
Oh,
That'd be a good
uh,
message to leave
yeah.
James
How about
Gunn.
you go crown on James Gunn on his porch? Sorry, I don't want to make any threats here. That would be a war crime. All right, Roxanne is now trending. Okay, sorry. I'm stuck looking at these trending going on. Okay, I
Roxanne.
know exactly. You instantly go to that.
That's actually, I think that's actually related to uh the knot thing. Because
Gotcha.
I think that's one of the people who's semi-involved with the whole little feud or whatever, but again, it's just part of the whole.
Yeah, I'm not into wrestling whatsoever. So,
I
and
used to be, so I have there's like I still like see things about it here and there, like
mhm.
when someone I'm familiar with does a thing, and then of course then you get updated about all this other stuff. So like more or less know some things that are going on with it, but it's not it's stupid. It's
I
really freaking
usually have
stupid.
like the worst people to represent it around me, I guess. And also, to me, it's like they're really getting into the drama. I thought I never knew that that would be the way that it would end up, is going more into basically. I always joked like it's a must be like a male soap opera, but now it really seems like it must be a male soap opera, and I think they're trying to expand to like Trailer Park Girls, for audience, because baby, grab me my
It used
grab
to
me my
be
Marlboro
it,
100, the
it
lights.
used to be like if you go back to like I guess the so I mostly I guess got into it probably in the early 90s, I want to say.
Hmm.
Uh it had the drama aspect to it, but it was more akin to like what you see in boxing, like the pre-fight kind of trash talking and stuff like that. But it was just a little bit more of a flair for like storyline. Uh,
Player.
it was, yeah, flair.
Let's see what you did there. Okay.
uh, but yeah, it was like there was a little more of like an actual like story element to it that went a bit beyond like just two guys fighting. But it was very much about like at the end of the day, two guys wanting to fight each other.
Yeah.
Uh, Now it's the majority of it is the storytelling aspect, and like from what I understand, uh like you can read a recap of like Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, which those are like 3-hour shows, and there's not even 10 matches. And I'm like, that's insane to me that you'll do a 3-hour show and there's not all that many matches that go on, and I almost never hear anyone actually talk about the matches themselves, which I'm like, well, that's isn't that the major part of the draw was supposed to be? It's like the actual craft inside the ring, and uh,
Yeah.
it's like that to me was always like the really fun part. It's like, oh, all the pre-fight antics were fun, I guess. Like those could be fun, like if you're I guess like for me as a kid, I'd see stuff like The Undertaker and stuff like that, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty cool." It's like watching like a almost like a superhero type show. But yeah, it's more just like family drama, and they even throw a little bit of politics and stuff in there, and there's a lot more like women's wrestling stuff that goes on into it, and uh, it's yeah, it's not what it used to be, and for the most part, is like considerably worse.
Uh, I've actually I had a worker that was trying to. If it gives you any hint to how bad a worker they were, their nickname was Beans. I don't know why, but anyway. And I think that you ever meet somebody and they act like their responses are not like jokingly a- about shows, like you hum something and somebody sings a song. No, this person, like, he talked as though his life was a TV show, and
Oh
like
my gosh.
he yeah, and anytime a female was around him, talking about something like a bad customer, he goes, "They need to sit down and learn some respect. They need to respect." And like I was like, "Holy God, this dude is talking like it," and he told me about his single wide that he had full of, like, he goes, I've got 4 belts now, like recreated belts from different championships and all that. And he goes, signed belts and blah blah. I was like, oh my God. So his last day there was like, I was pretty happy about that. And also, but that was the last like real representation of like people who are wrestling fans now. I know we know a guy named Joker Voice, and like that's yeah, he pressed the button for his own laugh track. By the way, Senior Ransom, good to see you, sir. I hope you're having a good day. I
Hello,
hope
Stephen.
work is going well, Wellington, for you. And Senor J. Goodwin, the best one of the good ones. Rasping with soap operas per minute. That's what I just said. Now it's
Yeah,
just
now it's just
soap
soap operas,
opera.
exactly.
Gotcha. Let's see. Let me pull the whitey side. Let me tell you something, brother. Oh, dude. Oh man, wasted so much money. Wasted so much
Like
money.
I worked with a guy who, uh, I think he still wrestles on the indie scene and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was really into the idea of becoming a wrestler and everything. But yeah, he certainly didn't walk around like cutting cutting promos like he was it, like he was already there. That would have been like really, really
So cool. That was so cool, dude. You can be at work and I'll be like, let's get this line moving, boys.
strange.
Let's see. Soap opera, because our like dramas were sponsored by soap companies. Dun dun dun. Keep it clean.
That
Uh
actually would be pretty funny if like they were sponsored by like Dial for Men and stuff like that. That would be kind of great. Play right
yeah.
into it.
Yeah, lean. Do the lean. And we get Senor Israeli. We have an Israeli in the chat.
Oh my gosh.
Dun dun dun. Dramatic.
This
By the way,
Quran and Bear is brought to you by Jews.
the Jews. The Jews.
The Jews.
All right. Israel, if you want to come on later, give me a holler. Let's see. When I want my wife to take us, so I adopt a matcha. Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's what you gotta do. And get your, like pre-heart attack face going. Like the red, all red, sweaty. That picture that I have to share every now and then. The uh, my butthole after eating X amount of hot sauce and all that. The Randy Savage face. Mm. All right, but yeah. Anyway, so I'm not a fan of it. Not a fan. Never been a fan of it. There was a Nintendo 64 wrestling game where you could like make custom fighters, and
Oh,
Yeah.
the old yeah, okay, so here's a little story about that. So I think after probably like I don't know, turning I don't know 11 or 12, I stopped
Mm,
watching wrestling for a really long period of time. And then a buddy of mine during the N64 era, 99 2000, he bought WCW versus NWO. Like that was the first of those THQ wrestling games. And I was like, dang, this is actually really fun. And that was without a lot of the customizable option stuff. It was just like a really well constructed wrestling game. And I was like, dang,
yeah.
this is actually really cool. I like it. Uh, and kind of out of that sort of sort of brought me back into watching wrestling like during like the NWO era for a little while. Uh, but my memories of the video games like that and then uh No Mercy and WrestleMania 2000, like all those THQ wrestling games for N64 were so freaking good. Those were really fun wrestling games. And I was like, I've never understood why they ventured so far away from that style because it was so much better.
Well, I mean, it wasn't super hard to figure out. I really like the one that I played. You could make, take from every single fighter and basically make your fighter look like that. Like I had one with like a samurai helmet on and all that. End up trying to make him look like a dude from Street Fighter. So I was like, yeah, and, Shogun, yeah, and that was apparently a thing. I don't know if those WWF or WTF or WMD. I don't know, but bless it. So, all right,
Those are really fun. I miss those.
mm-hmm. I miss games like that.
Yeah,
And those were games
really.
that you could really play with your friend, or get your brother. Like the middle brother, yeah, the older one. He was really into wrestling at some point, and we had like an uncle who was doing like Nashville circuit wrestling, and the fact that I had to hear
Wow.
about it I was like, oh god. uh but anywho, so let's get into this. Our first one's talking about I had seen about this little comparison between GTA 4 and GTA 5, and I didn't realize the difference here was that a girthy difference. So we'll go through the video here. Huh?
All right.
Franklin can't pick up stuff. Right here, he
Oh,
can pick up.
girl.
Dude.
Let's see. He's trying to get. Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's a neat little detail. Pull out their umbrellas. Police wear raincoats. Actually, it's pretty cool.
yeah.
I mean, I would say one like I'm trying to remember like there's a little bit of that I think is slightly misleading.
Hmm.
Like if you go back to like the beginning of it, there's I think it's the second or third difference if you don't mind. Yeah, it's the one of the ones after this one. Okay, this one I was like, well, you can still grab a
Yeah,
ledge when you
right.
jump. Like it's it just also
Not
there's
as
also the
forgiving.
mechanic where you can I don't even know if it's necessarily less forgiving. It's just you can bump into it. I guess it's not an auto response, but I mean, here's the thing. I do agree there are definitely some things that GTA 4 does better. It almost seems like whenever they make these games, they're going to sacrifice smaller aspects of mechanics for other ones and stuff. So there's kind of a give and take. But
Yeah,
I
as
because
a
the one thing they're not talking about is GTA 4's driving mechanics kind of suck. Um, at least compared to something like 5. Like that's actually one of the things that really turned me off of GTA 4 when it came out. And I still have not finished that game. I hated the driving mechanics for it. They really bugged the crap out of me. and the GTA 5 actually is in that respect is like really really smooth.
Um, yeah, and before I ask you about that, let's see, you guys really
The
need to
car
watch
one, I don't understand why they were going on about that. Like the one when he was like flying off of
Flying
the
Up. Yeah,
bike, I
like
was like that. I was like more or less still happens.
yeah, that's just different, slightly different mechanics.
It
So that's
looks a
not.
little different, I guess, but I mean, you can
Yeah,
be in a car and go through the windshield in GTA 5 and
yeah, and
go
actually go.
flying.
Okay, see, we need to watch Matt McMuscles. What happened? Let's see. That's a hell of a name, though.
Matt
Right there, Matt
McMuscles.
McMuscles. Okay, so let me kind of go through this just a little bit more. Yeah, well, that's just me. Right there, the grabbing right there is just more forgiving. So I can see that, but like that just means it's more forgiving. And
I mean, it's something that I guess maybe next time I boot it up, I'll want to test five and
uh-huh,
see how it compares on that front.
yeah, okay.
I guess that I mean,
Well,
okay, to
w-
me, all right,
the first one
if
is
the
better.
difference is yeah, the first
Uh,
5 is actually better in that one because I think this one looks because it seemed like there was a bit of a speed comparison there. It's like they weren't going all that fast.
yeah,
So him flying this far after that does look a little sillier.
yeah. Like
Um
I guess
maybe
5.
maybe they're trying to say it's like, well, but he's doing a lot more like the flips in the midair and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, but he's also going a lot further too. But I mean, make no mistake, if you go fast enough in GTA 5, you can absolutely go flying.
Yeah, it's just at what point are you getting into like the ragdoll testing program for the
Yeah.
creators? And yeah, so let's see. But yeah, once we get into GTA 5, yeah, what like you can't pick things up off the ground, but
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I guess that's not a I don't see really the necessity in doing it anyway,
yeah, I
so
mean, I like having the option so I can see that, but
sure.
how many items do we need to spawn into the world to for you to be able to grab? Like, well, why can't I pick up the sidewalk that's like slightly crumbling? Why can't I pick up X, Y, and Z? Why can't I scrape at a star on the ground?
I mean, like some of like this thing, I was like, yep, that's definitely something
Yeah.
that's far more interesting and immersive. I totally agree with
Hmm.
this one. That's actually really cool that they would do that.
Now, do
Uh,
me a favor, if you don't mind. Would you tell me about the driving mechanics in 4 and why they suck so bad?
it's just it controls a little like it's been a little while since I've played 4, so it's a little harder to describe. It's just 5. The driving feels more like a modern racing game where
Hmm.
it's it's like you're hitting the right trigger to move forward, the left trigger moves backward, and it's very easy to
Unintuitive.
grasp like how
Yeah.
exactly to do it. It's very intuitive.
Yeah.
Uh, if I remember correctly, it's quite a bit different from 5. It's it's not quite as smooth the control of it and everything. It's a little jankier maybe. I'd have to actually play it again to properly describe it. I just remember the one of the big things that turned me off of GTA 4 early on was I did not like driving around. It was really annoying. I know another thing that 5 does that 4 doesn't is 4 is in that kind of old school vein where if you're doing a mission and you die at any point, you are starting right back over from the beginning.
Yeah.
Whereas 5 kind of has checkpoints,
Okay, that's
which
helpful.
which granted that's going to be preferential. I guess some people are like, nope, you should be penalized back to the beginning if you die. Whereas some people are like,
Yeah.
no, I kind of prefer the checkpoints. Uh, I do personally, I guess, prefer checkpoints at least as far as like the longer missions go. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll be perfectly honest. I've never loved a GTA's saving system to begin with because, like, that's one of the things that I feel like they would do well to update to something more like Red Dead. Red Dead, you don't necessarily have to like go right back to camp all the time to save. Whereas GTA, it's like, yeah, you need to go to a safe house. And oh, by the way, there's missions right there. So if you want to save and you haven't bought like a new property, you're gonna have to do a mission before you save. So it's like this is kind of annoying.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I totally get that. And also a lot of games they do have missions that are just a little bit over the top, especially time sensitive missions. Like you have 14 seconds to get over to Rodriguez
Mhm.
Lane. and you're like, I don't even know what the fuck this map is. Like, why would I care to figure out every single road in this game other than and Assassin's Creed earlier versions of it were really 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 bad about getting into
Yeah,
wanting
time missions I almost never enjoy
no.
unless they're, like, kind of organic to the story. Like like, if you're doing, like, a mission where, like, you're trying to, like, defuse bombs or something like that, okay, fine. No big deal. Um, but, of course, like, they just so happen to give you just enough time to finish with, like, a few seconds left if you're lucky. So, it's like, don't make any mistakes or anything, which okay, I get it. That's they're trying to up the difficulty and everything, but most time missions in any video game, I'm going to be kind of averse to because I never find myself enjoying those all that much again, unless they're justified in story. Because like actually, I was
Justified.
playing GTA 5 and they yeah, exactly justified.
Sorry.
Uh, but I was doing like a side mission in GTA 5 and uh, it's like you're basically you're picking up all these random drops for like marijuana or something like that, and you have this one where you pick it up and almost immediately you're hounded by the police so that you have to lose them. It's like so basically you have to drive around and you have to try to get away from him and take your 2-star. You start with a 2-star wanted level and you have to get that down. I'm like, okay, that's all fine and good. I don't mind that. That's actually pretty common in that game. uh but when you're done, for whatever reason they decide, oh, now okay, now you have a minute left to get those drugs to their spot. And I'm like, well, I mean, for one thing, it's like how you lose the police usually means you have to turn, you have to make enough turns to kind of lose sight of them visually, and you have to stay away from them for a certain, a certain duration in order to keep it down. And so you have to kind of constantly be on the move, and unless you know exactly where you're headed from the outset, you can't really plan to being in the spot you need to be in to make that 60-second time limit. And I don't even really know why there's 60 seconds. It's like, uh, because I did all that and I got to that point. It's like, okay, now you have 60 seconds to get there. I'm like, I'm way too far away to get there in 60 seconds. What are you talking about? You made me lose the police. And
Yeah,
then
it's
it's like, oh, you
just
got 60 seconds. I was like, well, I can't make it. That's not possible. It's like, that's kind of stupid. Why is there 60 seconds left? Just did not really make any sense. And I was like, okay, these are the time missions I can't
yeah.
stand.
Yeah. And that's kind of another point towards little saves, checkpoints in your missions because people put meaningless missions inside of missions that don't really it's not going to help or hurt the story, well it's actually gonna sometimes hurt the story, so I'm fine with
Yeah.
these checkpoints.
I mean, like I said, this is a side mission. So Uh, it's not necessarily integral to the overall plot or everything. And again,
Hmm.
it's like the way that that mission starts, where you're like you pick up, you're basically going around, you like pick up the vehicle that the drugs are stored in. I was like, okay, that's fine. Then you're immediately hounded by cops, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that would make sense. They're eyeing the place, and now you got to get away. It's just like that artificial 60-second timer they put on there right away. I was like, why? This is so
No
dumb.
thank you. Yeah. All right, so things to look out for, but it did kind of make me look more into thinking like, well, if I ever do get back into GTA whatsoever, and get any more of those games, then I definitely have to give this one give 4 and 5 a go. But I love immersive worlds and all that, and I do love the open world feel. So I'd probably feel
Mhm.
even more comfortable in 5, but I don't know.
Like 5 controls a lot better, and
Hmm.
that's part of, I think, the reason why it's been easy to, implement
Well,
its
to last for
mechanics
10
onto, like
years.
yeah, more really. I think it's been out since, like, 2013.
That's
So,
crazy, dude. That is
yeah,
so freaking crazy.
I mean, it's been a cash cow for a long, and also I tinkered a little bit with the online stuff, and I'm like, "Okay, it does run pretty smooth so far," so it's like, I kinda see why they're doing all that stuff. It still irks the crap out of me they didn't do more with Red Dead.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
do think Red Dead's the better game, but um, people who just play games to play them. It's like GTA. It's like I could see people defaulting to that because there is a ton you can do in GTA. It's Red Dead's kind of limited just even by its story elements. even though there's a ton you still can do.
Yeah.
But GTA, it's a lot crazier and wilder, and you can almost kind of implement anything you want to keep people on board.
The
So
online gameplay for Red Dead, as I got to see, there was a uh, brother and sister in law had one of their neighbors over, 13-year-old girl, and she's over here, and they're running around and basically trying to snatch deer from each other on horseback. And I was like, okay. And the biggest thing that came out of it was suddenly like the language was like so foul, like just in the game. And it was like multiple characters at the same time. GD, you son of a bitch, and and you're like, okay. And we're like, so that's fun. Maybe we shouldn't be playing that with the whole family over. And she's like, oh yeah, I guess I'm sorry.
yeah,
uh
yeah, it's like guys, Rockstar games generally speaking are not for the little
yeah,
one. They're not
yeah.
supposed to be, at least. So.
I know. And I came over there. I was like, yeah, really, guys, come on, come on. Okay. So anywho, let's move on and let me check here. Ransom says, I always wonder how many abandoned game elements are left in the coding of any given game. They may explain the 60-second thing. Um, I mean, yeah, true, but with DLCs and everything like that, there's so many things that can be fixed, gotten rid of. But yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying, like how many things they went through and why it matters, and like I guess loading, like, but yeah, I don't know. Next year, GTA is more of a casual game than Red Dead. Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
I don't know. I like to just walk around and go fishing. Like how many streams that I could have done of me just fishing in Red Dead. That yeah. Thank goodness I didn't have the right hard drive at the time to stream that game, or else you guys would have been seeing so much freaking fishing. And
Yeah, that's the thing. Red Dead's actually, I would say, you can do like far more relaxing stuff. Um, like that's one thing I think it has. It's like if you're wanting to kind of just do whatever you want, um, like within the environment of the world, the single player of Red Dead is way better because it's far less chaotic. You're able to like you said, you can go around and just start fishing, and you can actually have there's some pretty cool fishing goals and hunting goals and stuff like that. You could do like probably 10-20 streams just with like hunting and fishing stuff in Red Dead with actual goals in mind, and have a blast. I mean, because that's part of what that game has that's really, really neat
mhm.
is like because both games do this thing where they have these mini games, I guess you could say. Like GTA 5 has like you can go play tennis and uh, you can do like little racing missions and stuff like that. The racing ones are pretty organic because obviously the game is has driving in it.
Mhm.
I played a little bit of the game's version of tennis. It's very basic. It's not bad necessarily, but it's not like a full blown like tennis
Intended to
simulator and
be,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah. Whereas I actually think Red Dead's like fishing stuff. I think the mechanics of that are actually pretty dang good, even compared to some fishing games. I mean, granted, I haven't played a fishing game in Lord only knows how long, probably since like the Wii or something. But I would say Red Dead's fishing mechanics for its game work just as good, if not better, than some of those older ones. And like I said, they have some pretty cool, goals and everything that you can have. And they have like, kind of legendary fish that you can hunt and, you can make stuff out of parts of the animal if you're hunting them and everything. So all that stuff actually is really, really cool. And kind of gives those extra incentives and whatnot. So yeah. Whereas I think GTA 5, like I think if you were to just do like streams with the mini game stuff, that would get stale really fast. Like I couldn't see anybody playing GTA 5 like doing a stream where you're like just doing tennis or something, for example. I think that would be really stupid. Like I said, I've played some of the tennis stuff and I'm like, it's like super easy. I think it's not. It's like I played one game against like the main character's wife and won it like super easy. Like I spent one game of the set getting used to the mechanics and then beat her the rest of the sets. I was like, that was so easy. Whereas like fishing and stuff in Red Dead actually takes a little time to learn, and then over time, it's like it feels more rewarding.
I know. Well, one last question about GTA 5 that you played, and I've always wondered this: like, have they made it yet? Are we to that point yet where you can go into almost any building?
No, no,
No. Okay.
not even
Dang.
close. Not even
Dang.
close. Um, I don't know of many open world games like even Red Dead. You can't go into any building. You go. I think you can probably, if memory's serving me right, there's probably more like, or at least the ratio of establishments that you can go in versus the ones you can't go in is probably a little higher in Red Dead. I mean, granted,
Hmm.
Red Dead 2 came out after uh GTA
Right.
5, so it should be better on that front. But GTA, it's like they have a lot of like spaces that you can interact with, but not necessarily buildings you go like most of I think almost every building you go into uh is because you have a mission there. So
Okay.
if I'm thinking about it right, I mean there's a lot of clothing outlets and you know, barbershops and stuff like that. There's a lot of places you can go and, interact and stuff like that. But it's, I mean, it's like it's either strip clubs, barbershops, clothing outlets, that kind of stuff. And it's just those same ones over and over again. There's not a ton you can do in them. I guess you can hold
S-
them up or something,
So you play
but
a black guy in GTA 5, right?
you can. you,
Oh,
you
okay.
definitely
Okay.
can.
All right.
You
Okay.
can you can swap between three guys. So I do have to give them credit. I remember when they first threw that idea out there, a lot of people were like, "You're all doing what? You have three protagonists. How are you going to balance that?" It's actually implemented pretty well, and each character's pretty interesting in their own way and very distinct. And they each have their own special ability, which makes things fun. Like the black guy, he's like driving with him is a little bit more fun because he can make turn. He can, if you hit like both of the thumbstick buttons while you're driving, you can actually slow it down. And you can make cuts and turns like much more smoothly.
Hmm.
And he's the one that you have like the racing missions with. So it's like, okay, so this is tailored to his skills. That's pretty cool. Whereas like someone like Trevor, it's like he has this ability to like basically go like guns blazing berserker mode, which is pretty fun. I'm trying to remember what Michael's is. I think Michael's might be kind of like a bullet time thing, like Max Payne, something similar to that. But uh, I don't use the special abilities a ton, but they are pretty fun to implement. It's just one of those kind of extra mechanics that you don't necessarily need, but it's kind of neat to have.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see.
I will
James
say this,
says.
GTA 5 is like it's like the one thing that's kind of surprising me about playing it this time is how funny the game is. Like especially like when you get into Trevor's like story stuff, Trevor's freaking hilarious. Like he's really funny because his character is like he said like when you first meet him, he's the smartest man in the trailer park, so to speak. That's kind of the environment, like at least the feel of it. It's almost like you're in a trailer park, and he's considerably more intelligent than everyone he's around, but he loves doing all the things they do, it seems. It's just when they talk, he's constantly talking down to them and everything. They're too dumb to realize it. And it's really freaking funny. It's like people act like, oh, Trevor's the kind of the idiot of the group, or the not. I was like, no, Trevor's might be the smartest of the three. It's just he likes doing a lot of really stupid, insane stuff for some reason.
Yeah. Well, that's
But
typical
he's freaking
trailer actions. Yeah.
freaking hilarious though. Gosh, his stuff is really funny.
All
I've
right.
paused the game several times laughing just playing that stuff. There's some really funny crap.
Yeah. Did he have an issue with his mom?
I think so.
I
Yeah.
saw some weird cutscenes about it, but yeah.
I know there's a part where like his mom comes into the picture and he's like weepy and apologetic, and it's like, yeah, it's pretty funny.
Let's see. Um, destroy all humans. It's an example. Okay. Yeah. Senor Ransom, we got the Project Zomboid is about as sandboxy as I think you can get nowadays, but it is not like 3D. It's
Hmm.
overhead game like Ultima. All right, so let's scroll on down. And yeah, I guess we'll jump right into this about borders and all that. And so Harlan Williams is a comedian that I like some of his stuff, but the dude is just 100% like goofball. It's really hard to get him, to talk about certain subjects, I
Hmm.
guess, thoughtfully and in depth and all that, because he likes to keep it light. And I can, yeah, I totally get that. He's trying to keep, you know, comedy as comedy and be just a caricature of, comedy. But anyway, so he was talking to, of course, a great mind, Steve O, who has apparently been like doing this little circuit of, I guess
Yeah,
he's
he's been making the rounds recently, and I was
yeah,
like, "Why do I keep seeing Steve-O do things?" Like,
right. And I have to
is
hear
he interesting all of a sudden? What's going on?
when I have to hear a voice more annoying than mine, where the dude's like, "Hey man," he's it's like hearing a pug talk. You know, but anyway, Steve O Canada-born actor Harlan Williams. Are you afraid of ice? And
Surprised he's not making a joke about Canada being cold and everything there.
yeah,
"Are you
yeah.
afraid of ice?" "I'm Canadian. Why would I be afraid of ice? We have it all the time."
uh,
Oh!
comedy. But yeah, it was kind of cringy. Everything about Steve O is pretty cringy when it comes to his political takes. And Harlan Williams started doing acting in like 90s, I guess 94 or so, with Dumb and Dumber, and then went
Yeah.
on from there. Not a spectacular career. I first saw him in Half Baked, and I was like, his performance just stuck with you because he looks like an absolute character. He does well
Mhm.
with facial hair, by the way, because he likes a chin. He has
Yeah.
a negative chin. And but dude's funny, and he started doing voice acting. Um, let's see, Puppy Dog Pals. He's Bob apparently in the show called Puppy Dog Pals, and that's a big freaking franchise. That's a lot of money, and it's really helped sustain him. And he's done a bunch of other voice acting too.
That's good.
But so he has a great talent for it. Yeah, go him. But anyway, here is. And I've heard him talk about a few things. I was just like, when he did get serious about it, I was like, not a big fan. But anyways, here's his take on the whole situation with immigration and borders and whatnot. Let me get boy, huh?
Afraid of ice.
Sorry, I just have to make myself want to gag a little bit. Are you afraid of iron? Ugh.
Daddy, chill.
Okay.
I'm not going to
alright.
sit here and pretend, ooh,
Right.
if I did it
Especially-
wrong and I got caught, I'd have the balls to go, okay, you got me, I'm going
Right.
home. But I won't do that to begin with because I respect the boundaries of every country.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I was like, yeah,
What the hell was that?
That was
Afraid
a
of
minute.
ice.
No, I'm not afraid of
It's a
ice.
diff-
If I wasn't here legally, then my mindset is, well, then, yeah, if they catch me, I got caught. I should go.
Right.
It's illegal. I'm not here legally. I
Right.
respect the system. I went through a hell of a lot to get here legally. So when people go, oh, they're just undocumented, no, I went through the whole thing.
Right.
And you know what? I feel like a chump because I did the dance. I spent every cent I had to get here. I spent years and years and years and years to get permits
Right.
and a green card,
Right.
and it was hard.
Right. You
and
think
it was
the
taxing.
TMV's bad.
Yeah, you think it was not easy. So for people to just because they're a certain race or a certain culture, I don't care if you're from Canada, China, Russia, Mexico, wherever. There's a process. I did it.
Right.
So I'm not gonna sit here and pretend, ooh,
Right.
if I did it
Especially-
wrong.
Right.
I mean, Steve-O there just sounds like he's asking. I don't know. Now I don't know if there's. I'm assuming there's probably more to this conversation.
Yeah.
But
He's.
I know there was a picture circulating with him standing in front of a Baphomet statue and stuff like that. That's the one I saw recently with him, and I was like, okay, that's weird. But I can't say I've ever paid much attention to listening to his political takes and everything. So I'm like, listen to him. He's not somebody I'm gonna take super seriously. But yeah, that's a pretty basic common sense take from Harlan there. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
he
a
has
process,
been on.
respect it. Yeah.
he had been on Rogan, Stevo, more recently, and yeah, that's the first time I had seen him, doing a cycle again. And they had got pretty. I mean, it got spread all over X and all that. Basically, Rogan kind of correcting him about the whole. Um I guess things having to do with transgenderism and all that and what it means and as far as relating to school stuff and the whole bathroom situation, which I mean Steve-O had apparently just really misunderstood, and it was a pretty good chewing to the point where you could see him actually learning live. Right then you're like, you didn't understand that, you just wanted to go the sympathetic route.
Yeah.
And I think that's what gets people in a lot of trouble there is you want to sympathize, you want to do the, white liberal woman thing and be like, they're just trying to take a dump. Can't they take a dump? Yeah. So anyhow, yeah, they just want a shit. They just want a crown like cannoli. Making a crowny. The crowny commercial. All right, let's see. Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so good base take there from Harlan. I'm glad to see something good coming out of that dude. It's I don't like him as a guest a lot of times on a show, and it's hard to listen to a show because unless he's actually talking about serious stuff and the stuff that kind of matters, you can throw comedy in a lot, and I get it. You want some, it's your show, you make it as funny as you want, but I love hearing a lot of the history that a lot of these comedians have, like Ryan Gosling. Spent a good while living at Harlan Williams' house while he was in
Really?
yeah, well, because his house in Canada while Harlan Williams was touring, doing things all over in America. Um,
That's quite a
because,
pairing.
hmm and his daughters were like, his daughters were like so fascinated that they were laying in the same bed as as the Gosling, they called him. You mean the Gosling laid here? Have you washed the sheets? It's like, yeah,
Don't ever wash the sheets.
he was like,
Don't
he was
wash off the Gosling.
he was the Downey, yeah. But yeah, like he was an up and coming, person, and he needed some help, and he was working, locally, and he needed a place to stay, and just so happened, Harlan Williams, and but
There's a
anyway,
joke you can make about that because Gosling sounds like guzzling, but I won't make it.
oh, I don't think you got to make it anymore.
I don't think exactly. Well, that's how you make it. Is you allude to it without saying it, and let everyone else do the mental work.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
trick.
Oh, here, let me stop sharing this just for a minute. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah, but what am I doing here? Why am I doing
What are
here?
you doing?
I don't
What are
know.
you
I'm trying to get a code, an invite code out here just in case.
doing? Who cares about other people?
I know, but I've been this whole Easter thing happened, and duh,
I
I'm
mean,
trying
if
to
you
do
say so.
better.
But
This is gonna be
probably
hard
should
to.
continue. Well, you probably should continue with the conversation. It's like if you want to invite someone, like I might be able to do that part.
Yeah,
But
hey, how about you do that? Because
yeah,
I'm looking up very. I don't want my algorithm changing. My algorithm's gonna be like, "What the hell? That's too extreme, sir."
like that's something you
Okay.
normally do beforehand. But it's
Yeah.
like other
Well.
people listening, they're like, "The hell? What's going on?"
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. I didn't know if the person would be available, so it was kind of like in the moment thing. Let's see. What am I doing? Okay. So let's go and grab on here. And some of these are not going to be the main topics right here, but this little thing looks kind of interesting, and I think I would get this, except for I feel like somebody's gonna get, they're gonna crush your foot or something like that.
I mean, it looks like it's kind of using something like I guess like a similar
Like a
system as like maybe
treadmill.
yeah, like a treadmill or something like that, and it looks like the space where it like kind of folds in is pretty small. That way your foot doesn't get caught, I guess.
Yeah.
I
Oh wait,
mean,
there's space underneath there. Sorry, I'm now looking right here. There's obvious space right here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, well, there's a cover there too, where the stuff's going in. Uh,
Is there gourd?
it looks like it.
I think it's just rotating into the back of it, like behind it. I,
Maybe I don't know. It's hard to say.
but anyways,
But
yeah,
I do think it's a pretty cool. I do think it's a
I
pretty
would
cool
do that
idea.
because I love climbing.
I love
I
climbing.
love climbing. When I was a kid, I used to take off my socks and climb up a entire flagpole all the time until I finally started getting caught. And then they were like, "Well, I guess he can do that." Yeah, I mean, I had
Looks like it's
insurance,
called
so
a tread wall.
a tread wall.
Let's say, hear me out. One of these that
Yeah,
generates electricity at the same
yeah,
time. It's like, I mean, it's not the worst idea, but it's like at the same time, it's like, yeah, I think the idea itself is actually it's pretty neat.
yeah.
I do think that would be actually kind of cool. I mean, it's probably really pricey, but yeah, that would actually be a pretty cool thing to have in your home. I think
Hmm.
kind of neat.
I'd do it.
You'd probably need some tall ceilings.
Yeah, true. This is more.
Looks like what, about 10 feet minimum?
Yeah, it's a lot more than our usual 9 there.
Maybe yeah. It's so she's staying there. She's probably a little bit over 5 foot, so it's not twice her height. So it's probably
Hmm.
somewhere in like 9 feet, something like that. But
But if you
it's a
have it
cool idea.
outside, if you have it outside, then it can get like burning freaking hot. And
Hmm.
then you'd be like, you're climb faster because you're trying to get away from scalding your skin. There we go. Anyway, I kind of want one of these. I kind of want one of these. So if you're thinking,
That would be cool.
my birthday's, coming up in May. So if you're anybody thinking of a gift for the bear, hint. All right. So and then I had to bring up about yeah,
Jorge R. Martin.
the Riri Martin over here. Um
Yeah,
yeah.
and this is, and to be clear, this is not, to my understanding, this is not really a new take. I've seen
No.
this before
Hmm.
from him, where he talks about like the idea of like, oh, what's Aragorn's tax policy, blah blah blah, and I'm like, uh, this isn't quite meant to be realistic for one thing, but also, like the thing he seems to be leaving, it's like, okay, if you look at the way he words this, he goes, okay, I do quibble with Lord of the Rings. It had a very medieval philosophy that if the king was a good man, the land would prosper. We look at real history, and it's not that simple. And I'm like, okay, there's your problem. You're looking at real history to make a
Hmm.
comparison. That's not. This isn't meant to be real history. I mean, for one thing, Aragorn is not a typical man. Aragorn, when we meet him uh, in the Lord of the Rings story, he's in his 80s. He was not raised by men, he was raised by elves, which are very different from men. He has a bit of that kind of blood in him and everything.
Right.
There's quite a bit of destiny around him and whatnot. And funny thing is, like, he's not even in Tolkien's lore. I think it's his son is the even better king. To my understanding, it's the offspring of his and Arwen's. I think is actually the better king.
Okay.
Um, at least I think that's how it goes. But yeah, I mean, for one thing, it's like they did just usher in a pretty massive peace after defeating Sauron. So kind of big deal. It's like, yeah, is there going to be tax policies? I assume there is, but okay, let's say there is. So what? Does that mean he's not good?
Good. Yeah.
Um, it's like,
Um.
I mean,
So
it's like this idea that why do we even, it's like, do we really give a crap about that stuff? It's like, is that the necessary part of the story? Because that's not really what Lord of the Rings is about to begin with. And it's nothing against like Game of Thrones having stuff like that in it. That's fine.
mhm.
That's, I think, part of what makes Game of Thrones interesting when it's at its best is the political intrigue. But that's why it's a very different story. Is Game of Thrones is kind of a a medieval fantasy series with the political intrigue, whereas Lord of the Rings is not really focused on the political intrigue. So
Yeah. Uh, that was, definitely my kind of deal there. It's like, well, choose your fantasy there and all that. And we get it. You like to look at, your places that existed and try to add in, what would it be like with dragons? And, you know, I get that. But also, like, you don't look into the fact that there was a lot of killing had to happen in those books, a lot of um a lot of sad things happened, especially with like the early elves and the splits that happened between um the yeah, okay. Well, I'm sorry, but a lot of things happened between the early elves, the splits between those two, the first few battles, Galadriel losing family, everybody losing family, and not in the best ways. People getting their head cut off, dwarven kings, losing their parents, to madness and this and that. Uh, my big
well,
thing
plus
is
he's I think
that
he's well, I think here he's part of what he's oversimplifying here
Mhm.
is,
It's
or
not
at
his
least
book.
he's assuming things that go beyond the actual story of the Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings, like I said, it's not about like all the stuff he asks. I'm like, what's the tax policy? What's did he maintain a standing army? It's like, well, I would assume he did. Um, what do you do in times of flood and famine? It's like, okay, let's I mean, I don't know if like he went through any flood and famine. Maybe he did. I don't think necessarily that Tolkien was suggesting that was the end of all, strife and conflict forever. It's
Mhm.
just like, well, no, it's just like they had a great victory there, and I don't think there's a suggestion that at the end that, oh, they lived happily ever after. It's like, I don't think that's assumed. I don't think anybody really would assume that at the end of Lord of the Rings. Um, I think it's fine to wonder about that kind of stuff, but it's like that's not really what the story is about. So you know, I don't see why you're even asking. It's like, look, your story is going to come to an end also, and there's still going to
Mhm.
be questions at the end of it. Uh, unless I guess you end your world altogether, or well, the more likely one being you never finish it. Uh, but yeah, it's like I don't assume at the end of these stories that, oh, they lived happily ever after if there's even a hint of realism. It's like, well, that's rarely ever the case. It's like, of course there's gonna be conflict and strife, but this story is about this particular conflict. So, it's not that those questions aren't being asked, it's just they're not relevant to the story.
Well, it comes down to like the simple comparisons, to me, of like, hey, Aragorn, he sure did use a sword a whole lot, but did it talk about his exact techniques whenever he swung a sword? In my book, it's basically him saying, it's not my book. That's what it comes down to. Is he didn't focus on the things that I wanted him to focus on, and when it comes to Aragorn, like when you're talking about the difference between good and bad, like being a good father doesn't mean you're going to be exactly what people think of as a good father. Sometimes it means, like we were talking about last week, about discipline.
Mhm.
um you know just because it doesn't go down into the exact detail of how he does his tax policy, it's probably probably a fair. It's saying that he was fair. That he did it fairly. That he was good by it. It doesn't mean I don't get what he's wanting. Like, are you wanting to the fix it program to everything? It was just saying that he did it fairly. That he was good at what he did. As in he was a good king. Wow, is that is that not acceptable just because you want to focus on that? And it
Yeah,
seems
like I
sounds
don't
like another atheist argument. And I like in the background here, all I feel like is, nah, this is too simple, and this is just it's the same people who do
well,
those kinds of arguments.
it's the fact that he describes it specifically as a quibble with Tolkien and everything, and I'm like, well, like if he had described it simply as a difference,
Hmm.
as far as how their stories play out, it's like, well, yeah, that's fine. I think, if you look at it, it's like, he has this story that he told this certain way, and it's, it's great, it's wonderful and everything. He goes, but the one I set out to do, it's like I wanted to go to take a different approach and, look at it with a little bit more of a grounding in reality and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I think that would be more or less pretty accurate. You know, even though I think his books get a little too bogged down into uh to other
It's
stuff. Like, it's what's funny is like the political stuff is probably one of his strengths in Game of Thrones. It's that he constantly is bogging his story down and like a ton of like sex stuff and everything to where it gets really cringy at times. It's
mhm.
like, dude, you need to chill out with this stuff. This is, I mean, you're talking
Must
about
you
there's a
speak
lot
about
of,
nipples all the time?
yeah, really. It's like there's so much of that in the like I remember, like, I was aware of the show. Like, of course it's HBO, of course that stuff's in there.
Yeah.
And then picking up the books and reading them, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't think the books would be this much worse, but they are." It's like they
Mhm.
have that's like they're, you know, far more like pornographic in the way they describe that stuff, and I'm like, "George, what?" It's like this is not the stuff that I care about reading. It's like this is really cringy. Uh, it's because he spends way too much time on it, and it's all throughout the books. It's like anytime two characters have sex, like he has to go into it, and I'm like, I don't care about this. I really don't. I don't think it's necessary to know this. It's like I get that there are some scenes where you're learning something about the character that can be informative, and that's fine. But most of the time, it's just he's doing it for the sake of doing it, and I'm like, this. What does this have to do with what, like, say, with like what you're talking about here? How is this really all that relevant? Oh, right, it isn't that relevant, and
No.
your story is kind of bloated to begin with, so and that's kind of the double-edged sword to getting into the political stuff is because there's so many players and so many kingdoms, it's like he's now kind of experiencing the problem with that is that he's got more characters than he can keep up with. And that's this pretty massive web. Like I still think this is completely on him that he hasn't finished his novels, but when I think what's happened is he has written so many different threads and he's tried to have all these connecting dots everywhere that it's overwhelmed him because he's like, how do I actually make maneuver all of this to work out just so. And it's like, well, this is how you wanted to do it.
Mhm.
So uh that's your problem. That's something you should have been thinking about. But uh
You can afford to hire people to help you also kind of help you get back in the zone. Yeah, there are so many people that are, lorists of your book who will take money to come over there and be like, all right, well, let's help you, rekindle all this because I feel like he took a break from writing, of course, again, between.
HBO, like, they can't when they said, hey, we want to do this as a show.
Mhm.
I think that he's like, "Oh, good. I can do stuff. I can make money off of it, everything." And it's just adapting the work and everything. And then I guess like I can understand why he's gone on to other things. 'Cause it's probably easier to keep up with that stuff. Game of Thrones at this point, I think it's such an overwhelming task to go back to that yeah, I think I don't think he's ever gonna finish it. I don't. I do not think he'll ever finish it. He has I mean, he has the same number of Game of Thrones books now, as far as that core series, that he did when the show started. He has
Right.
not finished a book since then, uh, and it doesn't look like there's going to be a new one anytime soon. So yeah, I think it's just he wanted to get into this tangled web of like politics and stuff like that, and wanted to have all these different players that he's involving. And it's like, all right, well, you wrote yourself into a corner, so uh, that's your problem. So
And yeah, Waylon also brings up, let's see, he also goes so far down a path that he can't finish the story in a way that isn't stupid and nihilistic. Yep.
yeah, and that's kind of the other problem is like his stories they're so grim. And it's like I don't like the level of it's like how grim it ultimately gets. I'm like, I don't think you're really being that realistic at a
Mhm.
certain point. It's like I mean, because really kind of everyone in Game of Thrones just about sort of sucks.
Yeah.
um and I'm like, yeah, I get everybody has their demons and everyone has their problems and everything, but uh and I was like, and yes, I do agree that a lot of times the world will punish those who you know, are, trying to be good. I don't think that's always the case though. I mean, because it kind of seems like once he introduced a character who acts behaved and good, it's like, oh well, they're dead. It's like, well, if we know anything about this world, that means they're gonna die. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't think that's especially realistic that every good character is just gonna die this horrible death because they're so easy to manipulate and everything. I'm like, no, there are actually some people who work for good that are actually really intelligent and really strong and very capable. It's just you don't seem to know how to write one. So
No. Well, Tolkien didn't give me Aragorn's nipples or Arwen's bush, hue. So I guess that's just not enough. So I needed those nipples. All right.
mhm.
But yep. Let's move on from that filth. All right. I did have to play this just because Gabagool. I think I can get away with it.
Oh, you don't think I've run into a tight chain? You gotta take that thing off, dude.
Where'd you get it? Like Hot Topic or something? Well, what is?
I did indeed get it at Hot Topic, yes.
Did you really?
No, I forget. I don't know.
You forget where you got the chain that squeezes your neck all day?
It's because it's so tight. I forgot.
Did you get it when you were in 5th grade? Just threw into it like one of those fucking African ladies. Fucking neck thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
What part of New Jersey are you from exactly, Tyler?
His head's gonna fall off if he takes it off.
I'm from Austin, Tony.
Born and raised in Austin.
Born and raised.
Wow, with a pinky ring and a choker.
Yep. Leaning into it.
Amazing. What ethnicity are you?
White. I don't know.
Just regular white.
Yeah.
Cold.
Not
British.
Italian.
Just a buttered noodle.
Wow.
Dude, not Italian.
No, not at all.
This is nuts, dude.
You're not Italian. Pinky ring and a necklace.
Gabagool.
Gabagool shirt. How does this happen? Explain to us how this happened. How did you end up trying to be Italian?
It's the chain. It's the chain. He bought the chain and it took over.
He's a Wago.
It's cursed.
He's a Wago.
Cursed.
Instead of a Dago, he's a Wago.
You are awake.
He's a white.
That's
Sorry.
pretty
That got me. That got me. And then I was like, man, that kind of makes me jealous that I don't have a Gabagool shirt now.
no, I didn't know they sold Gabagool shirts. Cannoli, what the heck? Why didn't you tell us?
Yeah. He's like, I got the underwear. All right. Sorry, everybody's been making all these Chuck Norris edits.
Yeah, really. Just him beating up everybody.
Just everybody, no matter what. Like, don't.
I love how the curse actually hit him and then he started to block it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that didn't do anything. I mean, I still think AI is pretty gay. I don't love it.
Yeah.
Like even this stuff, I mean, there are occasionally some things that I'm like, okay, it's pretty funny, it's pretty entertaining, but
It's just not. Yeah. It will never. I don't think. I think I'm gonna be 10 years older before it ever starts really feeling real.
I mean, to me, it's like it's not. It really isn't necessarily the real, like it feeling real that bugs me.
Mhm.
It's like when I see a funny meme, I appreciate like the mind behind it.
Mhm.
In a way, it's like, oh, that's really good. Whoever came up with that, well done. That's a good joke, or
Yeah.
that's a witty observation or something. This stuff, there is such a detachment because I'm like, what would normally go into creating something like this is just dead. It's like that's not really there. It's like I mean, granted, like I said, there are some things that are done with AI that I think are pretty amusing and entertaining. But usually it's like stuff like there's like, and Goodwin shared like this video with me where like this guy, like he's taking a video game where I guess this female character is stranded on a planet and she's asking you questions, you're interacting with her, and she's an AI, so she will start to, she'll respond naturally or relatively naturally to whatever you say. and this guy was tinkering with it and just saying like the most ridiculous stuff and confusing her, and it was really funny. It was
Mhm.
really, really funny. It's like that stuff with AI I actually quite enjoy, because I'm like, okay, that's just taking, the graphics and the character and stuff that you make. It's like that's just kind of general AI that you'll see in video games. It's just he's taking it to a place that's really funny. Uh and you could take it in a number of different directions. Like, all right, that's clever. Like that. This is just I need a prompt. I need a few prompts here and boom, 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 and there we go. We have this thing.
Yeah.
Uh, Now, granted, there are things you can do with that add to the cleverness. Like, I think the intro to this show is a good example of that. It's taking various prompts, but adding context with like the lyrics and stuff. There's a lot of in jokes that I know of that
Yeah,
are
it's more like
scattered throughout
reference
the.
comedy, rather than just like,
Yeah, it's like
look
there's a
what I can
mind
do.
there's a mind behind what is going and where. This is just insert Chuck Norris, have him kick thing, and it's like, okay, that's kind of easy. That's whatever. All
But
right.
when you can get more pleasure, yeah, just comedy out of it by looking at just a funny, like regular JPEG meme, and because it's clever, it catches your attention. When you can get more entertainment out of that than looking at a video of hey, take Chuck Norris and put him to all these scenes that I have to drop, and I'll tell it what to do, and I'll make extended scenes. Uh, then it kind of just goes to show, that's a lot of money to do a very little. But yeah, Sora, actually, back when I was using Sora to help with the educational videos for Ben Franklin and George Washington and all that, Sora was like you had to be like on a waiting list to be able to even use it. And I never did get, through that trial period and all that. So, and now they are they're going out of business, and pretty unapologetically too, for all, for the people
Mhm.
who were already trying to pay for it. It's just kind of hilarious that, they're switching gears that quick. The
Yeah,
sword.
it's weird. There's a lot of these AI things that like it seems like we're starting to trim a few of them away like kind of fast. And so it's like, wow, this it's kind of curious. Like these things feel relatively new, and we're already seeing some of them go away.
And let's see. But yeah, we like I showed my wife there, I guess, back in December, or close to the end of last year. Somebody was like, check out what Sword 2 can do, and somebody had used it to make what looked like a weird rip off of the thing. Some weird, everything is out in the Arctic. It looks, just cold. You see a truck, you see scenes that are supposed to remind you of some type of alien thing being there. You see a space, some type of workstation, and nothing about it. Everything's kind of moving in this weird slow motion. That it does. Whenever you make AI, they like to give you everything in kind of slow motion if they can. It's just not fast. It's too many frames per second to look realistic and all that. It doesn't look all that great to me. But anyway, that was supposed to be like, okay, well, hey, they can eventually start working with that, and I think it can be, for me, AI is a tool that can be used, but boy, you better be responsible with it, or it
Mhm.
just gets to that point where it's so worthless. It's kind of like CGI, the way that I've always felt about that. There are tasteful ways to use it, but boy, have they just went crazy, over the years, since the very early versions of CGI. They've went so crazy with it that I
Yeah,
uh
like it really feels like we went from warning about it
mhm,
to just like usually there's like a phase where it's like you'll hear about something, there will be warnings about what it could mean, and then you kind of slowly but surely see it implemented.
mhm,
AI has been we heard a little bit about it, we warned about it, boom, floodgates are open.
yeah,
I mean, and we're still probably nowhere near understanding like what it's capable of. Uh because we're still very much like some of these things are being tested out, and we're seeing that there's a lot of like bugs and uh issues with it and stuff. Some of which are pretty funny, but gosh, the fact that you're already seeing like workplaces use people to like train their AI to do their job for them to where they're gonna get let go and everything. It's like, wow, this stuff is taking over fast, and you're seeing like RAM prices like absolutely skyrocket and stuff like that. It's pretty crazy how quick
Yeah.
it's all how quick it's all gone down.
Just in the background here, I had this beer belly fellow who's playing into a bunch of people, and this is reminds me of like that guy from the trailer park who everybody's like
Bang
going,
puck and throw the haymaker.
you don't mess with that guy. Here he is, just going, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, just throw the overhand. It's like, all right,
Hmm.
try to defend this.
Beautiful. All right. Of course, Trump just being ridiculous. I could
Gosh.
I could sign autographs for you guys, and then tonight you can sell them for $25,000 on eBay.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, okay, that is pretty funny.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, but
yeah, and then
I mean, granted,
like
Nick Sorter's account annoys the crap out of me. I think it's his account that annoys
it
me.
is,
It's
it is, yeah,
like every single thing he does, he's like such a cheerleader, and I'm like, okay, calm down, dude. This is
yeah.
embarrassing.
I know, like you have to follow all these accounts, or
I
they
don't even follow
actually
him. I still
they
just get their
start
stuff.
yeah, they start showing up because other people follow them and stuff like that. It's like all these accounts start showing up, and they're all like making the biggest deal about this. Or what always amazes me whenever you can see like people's money, or like they've somebody's started getting paid from elsewhere, and they start changing up the their trend, I guess, on here. But
Yeah.
yeah, anyways, I thought it was hilarious because what the kids are actually saying in the video, but I'm not even gonna get into it. Here's another from Sensei. Just random, take any scene from a movie, and see, but there's just so much wrong here because
I mean, I'll at least
uh
give this credit to where he's beating up
mhm,
kids, and that's kind of funny. Like,
yeah.
there's at least some comedic element to that. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I enjoy interacting with the Johnny Lawrence
Oh
account.
yeah,
It's
yeah, me
fun.
too. He's right.
These are the videos that I care the least about. It's like when like the polls and the little comments he makes. I'm like, okay, all that's fun, all that's funny. It's like the AI stuff, like at the end or beginning of one. I'm just like, yeah, I don't care about that.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, I did find, I think Copa and Johnny have both shared out some taking scenes, chick riding the mechanical horse and all that, and all that, just, but that's also reference comedy too, like the one with
Yeah,
Ace
there is at
Ventura.
least well, and the fact that it was kind of an ongoing meme. I mean, granted,
Yeah.
I felt like it ran its course fast,
Yeah.
uh,
Mhm.
but
It does.
at least there was a running joke behind it, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll say this: even like the relatively decent ones, it's like, man, AI makes that stuff grow stale fast.
Yeah, yeah. It is very much like a very quick fad every time that you make one of these. So if anybody wants to get into using AI, really just I've been enjoying it for like obviously the intro to the show, but using it to make some intros for, because like for the people who are curious about art or whatever, I don't care, sorry, but like if I want a really quick intro and all that isn't just flying letters made by older versions of AI, through Photoshop and Adobe Premiere, uh flying letters and flames in the background saying here's my show, just like everybody else's generic shit. I made one for that Project Zomboid streams, where it's an anime character running around, like escaping zombies, and that's it. That's the whole thing. It's not to make that as a, like, this isn't going to make the money right here. This isn't going to be what draws people in. It's just a nice little background thing until the show starts. And I think AI as tools like that are very helpful. Beyond that, I really don't see that we will be getting to the point where a full movie will be the traditional version of what we're seeing as AI right now, like spawning everything from scripts and all that you write, or prompts. I don't know that we're going to get there for a long time. And if we do, it'll be under the control of a way bigger corporation that can own a lot more computers than you can. You know, a lot more RAM and a lot more gear.
Yeah,
Um,
like I definitely think we'll get like movies that on the visual level at the very least,
mhm,
or at least popular movies that on the visual level at least are almost entirely or even entirely AI. It may even be like kind of neat, but at the same time, it's like if you don't have people writing the scripts and whatnot, it's probably not going to go over well. It's like that's going to be a lot harder to do. Uh, I mean, granted, the funny thing, like, there is a part of me that is okay with the idea of AI being used by like people trying to compete with Hollywood. Because I
mhm,
think Hollywood could use some competition. I've been saying for a while, I think one of the best possible things we could see uh, is someone or some entity emerging that can compete with Hollywood, and because they're kind of the lone entity, at least in this country, making movies and stuff. No one like there's not really a whole lot of people competing with them, and that's why we get a lot of the garbage we get. That's why we see a lot of our IPs get compromised and get ruined, is because it's really one entity. I know there's like various studios, but it really is one ideology, one entity controlling just about all of it
Satan.
and making it. But yeah. Um but so it's like if we have people that utilize AI to make movies and they're actually using it to bring their scripts to life, like genuinely good scripts to life, it's like that would be actually pretty cool if
Mhm.
that could be done in a way that, at the very least puts their feet to the fire a bit. But I think I think Disney will be one of the first, if not the first, to push out like a full blown AI movie, AI script, all that stuff. They're who I am most expecting to jump on board with this because they seem to be sinking a ton of resources into it.
I think the tools that this can be used for, because just AI alone is good for other tools. Like, you have a scene where you've taken real actors, or people that you've created, and thoroughly created. That's why, like, saying somebody like, take a scene where you have some type of SWAT dude doing SWAT things and all that, and you have a full body scan of this character, of this person, and being able to throw them into a program like Blender, and being able to use that to say, here's what I want it to do, instead of having to work the camera the entire time. And that could be something usable for
Mhm.
when you don't want to have somebody possibly like catch a bullet, catch a stray while they're filming and all that. Like, if you're working around Alec Baldwin, wouldn't you rather the person be AI? It's a safety factor. But there are just special things to use in there that can replace other things that are a lot harder for people to work on, or outdated, or there's just not enough people to do it. And also, like, for presentation, like coming up with a good idea, like a storyboarding, boy, that'd be helpful, and to get your program off the ground. But other than that, like I said, we've all stated all the obvious about it. That fight that goes on. But
Mhm.
oh yeah, also, show me how those tits fart.
Huh? I mean, oh my gosh. It's like, huh?
This is
What does that mean?
hi. I know it's been 2 years. I know it's been 2 years, but this message keeps me up at night. See, I'm getting more out of this right here than I am out
Oh,
of
infinitely.
you know. Show me how no tits fart. That's exactly how I caught all my women's. uh oh my goodness. Oh, okay. Also,
Oh my
I'm going to have to
god.
use AI for this, because I and
When I saw this at first, I was like, please be AI.
there's this person rhythmically right there, spank, 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 and I'm thinking, okay, but yeah, so this is everything wrong with society in one video. Um, No, okay. Well, thanks a lot. Freaking
It's
girls just want to have fun, but
why do we fire at a school when we had this place that we could have hit?
oh my goodness, this is
It's
ridiculous.
yeah, like I said, like when this first came across my screen, I was like, I really hope this is AI, but it's like,
Yeah,
no, this looks like
it
something
was.
feminist yogis would do or whatever. This looks like what they would do. And it's like, yep, uh, that's why.
And that's why they got women being awful.
I mean, it's one thing if you're like in the class and in the moment something this happens and it's funny, but oh, let's also film it and show everybody. It's like, no, that's not no. This compulsive need to film everything, it boggles my mind because I'm like, it's that's on the internet. It's there forever. It's it's something to consider whenever you put something out there. This will be there forever, just so you know. And if it happens to go viral and you're in it, that's it. That's you're gonna be associated with it forever in perpetuity. Now, people don't seem to understand that. And look, it's not that millions of people are always going to remind you for years and years and years. Some people will move on and forget it, but the people in your life are not going to let you forget. In all likelihood, I
well,
certainly wouldn't. Like me, like my family, like we joke on each other about things from like 20, 30 years ago to this day. I mean, and it's like we don't need that stuff to go viral. It's like, yeah, we're gonna make fun of you if you said or did certain such and such a thing back then that was funny. We're just gonna keep making fun of you over it because it's still funny to bring it up. It's just a callback. It's great. It's like you're going viral for this kind of crap. It's like, guess what? They're gonna bring it up forever.
also, this is how you test your farts. Like, are my farts acceptable today? Am I really the one causing the problem? And I do see like there are people who are putting more effort into this. People who are more advanced in this horror class. So like you got this person, she's just leaning back, you know. This person kind of halfway there. This
Yeah, that's
person
the other
is
thing. Like that's
literally
the other thing. It's like you filmed just you all doing this pose for why? Why? It's like not even all of you are actually participating. You're just being retarded.
yeah. I mean, I context, but even then, her head is literally cut out of her ass. I don't get it. Anyway, so
It's a good
that
visual metaphor for
yeah.
certain women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like you could grow up and be this girl. All right, this random news. Yeah, Canada politicians have lost their mind. A new bill, if passed, considers parts of the Bible hate speech. The bill may remove or weaken religious exemptions. I hope Canada conservatives are going to make okay.
Doesn't surprise
So
me in the
yeah,
least.
this is just I had this in here just because look, Canada doing something else retarded. Yay. Okay, moving
Yeah,
on.
yeah, this doesn't surprise me in the least. Of course they will. That's that's what Canada be.
Yeah,
Canada's not. I mean, we're seeing a lot of countries compromise like this. Uh, I mean, shoot, like some of the stuff that's going on in the UK. Heck, some of the stuff some of our own talking heads are pushing anymore is trying to get
yeah.
us to bend the knee to other cultures.
Somebody, and I'll call it out. Like somebody recently that I actually had a bit of respect for, but I know also when to take. I like a lot of these people. I don't idolize them. You don't hold them above and all that, but some of them you're like, okay, well they have some pretty good takes and nuance, and they get some pretty good people on their shows. And I gotta tell you, um, yeah, what's his name? Trevor. Oh wow, I'm blanking on his name. The dude
Who?
with the really weird laugh.
Oh, Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, Tucker. Yeah, Trevor Tucker. I always miss some weird
He
names.
said Trevor, and I was like,
Trevor.
I don't know who
No,
you're
Trevor
talking about.
Noah. Trevor. One of those like rich kid names. Yeah, Tucker.
Trevor
Mhm.
McDougal.
Trevor McDougal McNarlson. Um. Yeah. Anyway, he's been having some really wild and just unnecessary takes here lately, and I'm just You
Yeah,
know,
saying stuff like, I mean, well, I've suspected for a while that he's paid by some peeps overseas in the
hmm
Middle East. I've suspected that for a while. Uh, the what irks the crap out of me with because you have some people that are clearly paid by one side, you have some people that are clearly paid by the other side, and if you hate one, I see so many people saying, "Well, I hate this one, so obviously I'm on this other side," and then vice
right.
versa. And I'm like, can you all not see that you're both retarded in this? Because you can dislike both. That's an option. It's like one doesn't have to be the good guy for the other to be the bad guy. You understand that. You can dislike both of them. That is an option to think both sides are idiots.
Well,
And I feel like
yeah, and
that's actually that's the most sensible option we have at the moment. I don't know why anyone would take either side in this uh in this kind of this ideological thing. Because I mean if we're talking the how do I word this without getting banned? The Juslums versus the Muse. It's like,
oh, that's new. Thank you.
yeah, there you go. Just swap. There's still a little letter swap. Just a little swap. Uh,
Awesome.
I don't like when I see Christians especially get caught up in that discussion. I'm like, I don't know why you all feel this compulsive need to take either side when neither is our side. I mean, that's really stupid to me. And it's like, well, I'm a Christian, so I must side with, the Jewish side, or I must side with this side because I don't like the Jewish side. It's like, you don't have to side with either of them. In fact, you probably shouldn't be. I would say you definitely shouldn't be. It's like, neither one of them are our side. They're not Christians. So why do you feel this need to jump over to their side? That's really stupid to me. It makes zero sense. So why you're listening to paid talking heads from either side as though they're your ally boggles my mind.
Yeah. It's kind of confusing that people can't take the good parts from a lot of these people and just use that. Like we really don't have to do like you were saying, you don't have to be on one side or the other. Like this person is, yeah. Well, they set the standard. This person, say if you're a Tucker fan or whatever, like, well, he does a lot of things that I agree with, so therefore everything he does must be kind of good. And uh, I think a lot of these people you can take a lot of their takes and and see how you feel about them. It's just like how you should, I guess, with news is like, yeah, there for a while a certain news network might, be having on a lot of guests that you like. And I think that's one thing that gets me with a lot of these people is I'm never gonna be like, you know what? Joe Rogan is, so awesome and based and this and that, and blah blah, just because I like some of his takes on things. But dude can get some great guests on his show, and I'll watch those shows and I'll see. I feel like every now and then he goes through like long waves of having better takes on things, especially here in the past couple of years. Go him, but it can all quickly be obliterated by listening to one show about aliens, and you're just like, But yeah, so yeah,
Later, Waylon.
just sorry, what you said, bro?
Oh no, I was just telling Waylon goodbye.
Oh,
He
okay.
said no.
Okay, okay. See you, Waylon, man. Be careful. Tell everybody we said hi because they will give a shit. But where we are known. But yeah, I have a problem with people turning all these different figureheads into idols and all that, and
Yeah,
it's a little bit
that
tiring.
always. But I mean, it's like it's one thing if somebody. It's fine to have like kind of figures and everything that you look to as sensible, but you have to understand at the end of the day they're human, and not only can they, it's like and whether they may or may not be compromised, obviously that's going to be harder to navigate. I
Hmm.
would say if they belong in any way, shape, or form to a major corporation, there's going to be a good chance of that, if not now, at some point, because once you get used to a certain living standard, you become sort of dependent on the people providing it, and once their values change, there's going to be a good chance yours do too.
Hmm.
uh but it's fine to have certain figures in that you look to. It's like, okay, this person seems sensible, I like listening to this person, but it's like you should be considering everything that you're told not just the source. You shouldn't just accept that, oh, this is reality because it came from this person. It's like, okay, they said it. Maybe there's some credibility behind it because you trust that person. That's great. Now you need to do a little bit of digging. Don't just accept what you're told. It's like, do a little bit of research or expect them to have the research available to where it's like, okay, I can cite this, and this to back up my point. And here's the material if you want to look it up yourself. It's like that's a good standard to have and everything. But if you're just, kind of nodding your head with what you're told because you like the person, it's like you're doing it wrong. Even if they happen to be right in the moment.
Hmm.
Uh you need to be wary of the possibility that somewhere down the line, they're gonna disappoint you.
Yeah. And this will also lead into later chat about our end part of our chat. But it's like people who follow politicians, I believe, like, yeah, they really represent me. And then you see, someone like Ted Cruz. Oh yeah, yeah, I know it's already laughable just for that alone. But somebody like Ted Cruz, getting absolutely owned by Tucker, who is obviously having his issues too. Like when it comes to talks about Israel and all that, and him, Cruz over here
Yeah, it's
basically
like
misquoting.
when Cruz was saying what he was saying, I was like, yeah, Cruz looked like I personally I was like, yeah, I think Cruz looks like an idiot. Uh I'm very much not somebody who buys into the Judeo-Christian thing. I don't buy into protect the country, the nation of Israel at all costs. I'm not a Zionist.
Hmm.
I'm not anti I'm not necessarily anti-Israel or anything either. It's just like I'm like, what are what are they to me? It's like I don't feel obliged to, step in for them, any chance I get. And I'm certainly not, like I said, I'm not a Zionist. I'm not somebody who believes that, Christians have to have this inextricable link to the nation. I was like, that's I don't think that's biblical at all. Yeah, it's like I think I used to maybe in like the 90s, maybe when the idea was first presented, and I thought, okay, I guess this is just true. But once you're more exposed to like doctrine and alternative takes, and you look at the evidence behind it and stuff, I'm like, yeah, I don't think that holds any water.
Hmm.
Uh, it's like I mean, there's a whole different discussion you could have about like end time stuff, like as far as like how that might involve like the Jews and everything like that. But it's like as far as how it pertains to like the actual nation and like the conflicts in the Middle East, it's like no, I don't feel any obligation to say, "Oh, yes, we defend Israel at all costs," and blah blah blah. And I'm like, nope, that's that's not my problem. That is not my problem. And that doesn't mean I'm on the other side. It's like at all. I don't. It's like I'm a Christian. I'm not a Muslim. I don't particularly like them. So doesn't mean I hate everybody from that country or anything like that. I want them converted. You know, but
Yeah.
this idea that we have to take one side or the other, it's like, no, you don't. You don't have to take one side or the other because Islam's and like the religions of Islam and Judaism are not Christianity. So why would I take either one of their side ideologically? It's like I don't agree with their ideology at all.
Yeah,
It's like
and
I don't agree with them. There's truth littered throughout both of them that, you know, crosses over with Christianity, but the context is all wrong. It's like I don't think those are saving faiths or anything like that. So it's like they're not my belief system. Why would I align with them? We don't align.
right. It's almost like they missed the part where it's mentioning how the church is the new Israel,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to be a very accurate church. I won't say exactly the name of of a prominent church right now, but yeah. But anyway, I'm just saying like they missed that part, and
Well,
and then
there's a lot. Well, I mean, there's a lot of particularly like Protestant
mhm,
sects that they think that they don't believe that. Now there's some that like seem to realize that the church is the new Israel. Like I know I know one place I think like Orthodoxy and like someone like John MacArthur they seem to have agreed on as far as this particular subject is uh, that the church basically is the new Israel.
mhm,
It's like, but at some point, you know, there will be a conversion of the remaining Jews back, to God, to Christianity. They both seem to agree on that point. It's like I've long held to that point because I do think that seems to be what prophecy says about them. Uh, but it has nothing to do with like the nation entrapped in those borders or everything. It's
right,
just like no, it's like there are people in that people group that down the road sometime there will be a mass conversion of them, but that has nothing to do with necessarily the country. It's like that's silly.
Well,
That's that John
yeah.
Hagee. That's like John Hagee philosophy stuff that Israel. It's like we must support and protect Israel at all costs and everything. It's like no, that's retarded.
Yeah, I always kind of started explaining it to my wife as a, months back or a couple years back, basically like, I can support the people without supporting um government, because the government is,
Oh yeah. Oh
ever
yeah.
changing. Any basic documentary of different leadership through there, you can see their history, their admitted history, things that that they do, and how they grew up and all that. And that's cool, but it should not totally inform your policy of of who and how you support and how many battles you should get into. There are things that are beneficial. And by the way, hello, hosty. Forgot to say
What else?
hi. But it does not mean that every decision should be guided by that nation. That is like absolute foolishness, from people like Cruz and others, who are like, that's pretty scary stuff right there. I don't want to donate to that, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't want
Oh yeah.
to. I I wasn't a happy person during my short service under Obama,
Mhm.
but I definitely would not like it if I knew, hey, unless it's beneficial for America, and going to save lives that honestly need saving and all that, then I would really hate to think that um, I'd say 40 to 60% of our policy is determined by not the really big goals, but what they think that they're doing and helping with. They're
Mhm.
doing and helping with what a government says, what a person says, and it's really scary to get demonized as as anti-Semitic or anything like that, simply because you disagree. Especially whenever people are misquoting the Bible to justify their means,
Mhm.
that's kind of scary
Yeah.
that we're in that place. But yeah, so any hooters, I think. Also random, but this is a true statement, public service announcement. If your cornbread is sweet, it is not cornbread. It is cake. So story mode
Well, wait
here.
a minute.
No, oh,
Wait a minute. What if
mhm.
there's sweet corn? So
There's sweet corn.
why can't cornbread be sweet also? What's wrong with
Well,
that?
okay. So the sweetness in sweet corn, as I've grown it, and also I think white silk corn is one of those. Uh, Buttercream does not come out tasting like buttercream. It's like, I'm growing some cake corn today, boys. It tastes like birthday cake. That's gonna be our future if we keep on letting them alter all this shit. But yeah, when my brother that I was
I
talking about
will say
earlier.
this like Cracker Barrel like at its best, like their cornbread, which is not particularly sweet, that is the
Hmm.
like that's a good notion of how it probably should taste. It's like
Yeah.
it's where it's not 'cause yeah, usually like if you make kind of that what is that like Jiffy kind
Yeah,
of
Jiffy mix is so wow.
like it's fine, like it's serviceable, it's fine, but it's
Hmm.
not like real cornbread or anything. It's very, it's very cheap, it's very easy. I appreciate that. I mean, it's basically as far as like side items go. It's kind of like buying like ramen noodles. It's cheap and easy, and you can actually eat off it for a while. So that's all fine and good, but uh, it's not in any way like resembling actual cornbread or anything. Whereas if you go to Cracker Barrel or something, you get like an idea of closer to what it should taste like. Where uh it's this nice kind of savory flavor,
Yeah,
uh,
savory,
if
not
it's done right.
sweet.
Yeah,
Uh,
if you can get this, and look, I think most people default to sweet because it's just easier.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you can get your cornbread tasting closer to like the savory kind, it's like that's kind of a whole other level if you can accomplish that because it's very nice. And I think as far as like going with like dinner, it goes with more because sweet you kind of reserve for dessert.
Yeah.
That's you're reserving that for dessert. If you can get the savory flavor of cornbread down, that goes with way more of your dinner meal.
And eating like a
It's really
barbecue
good.
sauce on a meat plus some sweet cornbread, freaking nasty. Who the heck are you, you
Yeah.
pre-diabetic bastard? Back the
Yeah, that
hell
doesn't go
off.
well yeah, that really doesn't go
Oh,
well together.
no, no. You got eggs. Oh, if you're doing, depending on how you make it. If you want it with a little bit of a gloss, you can put a little bit of like a third of a cup of oil in there.
But yeah,
You can
I do
have
more or less
buttermilk.
agree. I agree with the take. It's like, look, I enjoy some some quick Jif cornbread every once in a while if a little hard up for money or just like felt like, I'd like to add that to the grocery list just cuz it's very easy, but at the same time it's like you have to understand going in, it's like, yeah, I'm not actually eating cornbread though. It's not really what this is. It's cake, you know. It's cake with a bit of a different texture.
When's the
Dinner
last time
cake.
you've been to a
Been to a what? Uh-oh, can't hear Whitey.
uh,
He's underwater. There we go.
Cracker? Sorry, I'm dying right now. So, when's the last time you've been to a Cracker Barrel?
Oh gosh. I think it's been a couple of years actually. I think I went me and some family went around Thanksgiving maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I think that was the last time.
Okay, pineapple on pizza works. Sorry. Um,
I didn't hear anything before that, so that just
no,
kind
no,
of
no.
came. I was
Sorry,
like, oh, okay.
sorry. I just saw it and I got triggered because I was like, no, 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 no. That conversation. Um, beef, bell pepper, and pineapple, and maybe some green olives.
I'm
Pineapple
very
does go good
simple.
with it. Yeah.
I'm not a huge I mean, look, I have not tried a ton of pineapple on pizza. I think I tried it once when I was younger and I didn't care for it. I
Hmm.
might feel different if I tried it now. Uh
I don't like ham and pineapple on pizza though. I don't like
I
the
don't like
what
ham
people
on pizza,
call.
period. I
Yeah,
don't like ham on
it
pizza. I
doesn't
really
taste
don't.
that good.
I I like maybe 3 toppings. I like pepperoni, I like mushroom, and I like green pepper. That's about it.
Pepperoni, mushroom, green pepper is a classic.
Yeah, and
Uh,
just about any of those combo now, to me, it's like green pepper for me is like pepperoni and green pepper is kind of my 2 essentials.
yeah.
Like those are the ones I always want. Mushroom I occasionally want with it because I think those 3 really marry together really nicely.
Hmm.
But yeah, like I like the little extra flavor that green pepper adds to it. Uh There are other kinds I've tried that I also like and everything. I think,
But
jalapenos can
the
be really
old
nice
reliable ones are usually the ones that you can go back to anytime.
like,
Um,
I know a lot of people love, like, sausage on pizza. I'm a little bit more lukewarm on it. It's like I can kind of take it or leave it, and it's nothing against, like, the flavor of sausage. I mean, sausage is, it's a good food, but,
mhm.
with pizza, it's like, I don't know, it doesn't quite do it for me.
So the big problem is that a lot of people are getting a form of what they call Italian pinch sausage and a lot. And usually it's not even, it's just a soy filled version of that they sell. But where I'm from, yeah, we grew up
Italian pimp
basically.
sausage, I'm just like, "What?
Yeah, yeah.
Why is it Italian pimp sausage?"
Italian, hand pinch sausage. They're
Oh,
just
pinched sausage. See, that's not what it sounded like you
what
said.
what do you think I said?
It sounded like you said pimp sausage.
Oh, pimp
And
sausage.
I was like,
Italian pimp sausage.
is Whitey just doing a Whiteyism? I was like, what's pimp sausage?
Yeah, some of them pimp Wadiism. What the hell?
Well, I mean, it's like,
I
well,
do
I
make
mean,
up words.
pimp sausage sounds like it could be a thing. And it's
girl,
like, hey, if she
grab,
doesn't come back with the money, you got to slap her with the pimp sausage.
girl, grab some of that pimp sausage while you out. Um, dude. Yeah. So, but
I was like, but by Whiteyism, it's like Whitey combined two words in a way that he knows the meaning and I don't. It's
yeah,
like
there
that
are
happens
things.
occasionally, and I think it's great. But I was just like, is that what just happened? It's
That's
like
how
pimp
I
sausage.
remember stuff at the store. Like my wife would be like, "Yeah, we need milk, bread, and eggs, and all that." And I like milk, bread, egg, and it just. I mean, but it'll stick in your head. Milk, bread, egg. Oh, milk, bread, egg. And you just combine any word you want. They're Whiteyisms, but breakfast sausage, American breakfast sausage, ground up and double strained, so that way you don't end up, like how people react to Pizza Hut at times, bowel wise. That's the way to go. Do not mess with this. Half of, like I said, half of the sausage that is out there and being sold, from PFG or IWC. These places are not giving you, like, even we have one, Tennessee Pride. They have a version of crumble sausage that they tried to sell us at one time, and we gave it a test. And I looked on the back. I was like, oh, it's held together by soy.
Oh no.
So it's basically you take a bunch of globs of soy, like and you throw it into a vat of sausage grease, throw in some extra spices, and it comes out. There might be 10% of that, leftover meat, just left over in the rendered, unrendered fat. And they call that, their sausage. I swear I was just absolutely disgusted. But so it can go on there, especially with like onion sausage and onion pizza. Like when you swing through Tennessee, I'll get you fed up with one of those like extra large pizzas. You'll have to go off your base ass diet for a minute and and try like multiple types on uh which I've been meaning to bring up like 400 times on these shows, but I never do really get to it. But uh, all I'm saying is Gord has been eating a lot cleaner, and whenever your friends start doing that, it helps you also like remember like a lot of us know what's good, good for you, and a lot of us know it's like imagine being a fitness trainer, but you're a big, fat lard of shit, you
And
you
those exist.
really
Those do
I
exist.
I can give a ton of people a lot of advice, but if I'm also not kind of living it when it comes to my diet, because I'll go off on a just absolute go from eating like a few days of nothing but high protein, high fat, low carb, days and stuff like that, and I'll do that in a row, and then something will happen, and I'll be like, next thing you know, you're eating a bowl of cereal and a bagel somehow ends up coming out of nowhere. You're like, well, fuck, I'll eat that too. Yeah, and then your wife hands something a bagel out of left field. And then you'll see something that's a super duper processed, which I've been trying to stay away from. More and more, and then you're just like, I gotta eat. I gotta eat now because I'm not gonna have time. And then that's where you get kind of screw yourself over, and it leads to relapses and all that. Especially like the weeks that you work the most, those are so hard to make sure that you kind of eat a little bit cleaner.
Yeah,
And
because like you don't feel like making anything. You get home and you're tired, and you're like, it's so easy to just order out and let someone do that part of the work for you, and you can just
right,
relax and have something.
like
Because it's just because you've worked all day and you're like, I don't want to come home and work. And cooking is a bit of work, so uh, it's very easy to fall into that mindset.
yeah, I mean, and yeah, Ransom bringing up hot dogs. Like me and my wife, if like we're trying to save on money for the next few weeks, trust me, there's going to be some chili dogs there, involved. And what do chili dogs usually lead to? Well, what pairs well with that? You know,
Mhm.
uh, me, I grew up in a household where we would have some pretty good elaborate meals, but then most of the time, like if Dad was having to do the cooking. It was either going to be fried chicken and the sides that go with that, including non-sweet cornbread, because he wasn't gay, and either that or he would take a box of a box of rice, and mix that in with a bunch of scrambled eggs, chopped up bits of ham, and and yeah, call that call that a meal because he was feeding three very hungry boys, and we're just like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah," it's slop for the masses, and it's a higher protein meal. That's freaking good to me, and I can eat that for like 3 days in a row and be just fine. But when you get married and you get married to a girl from the South, who grew up in a pre-diabetic household, everything is about the whole entire meal and what all pairs together well. And I've just learned it over the years, through meals at home and being from the South. But you find out what pairs together well. Well, unfortunately, what pairs together really well are is a bunch of, in the end, not really good for you. Like chicken. Well, you can base so many meals around chicken, but usually what will end up happening is like chicken, and then what type of chicken will it be? Will it be fried chicken, or will it be like a baked chicken, or with baked in with barbecue near the end? And to get the
Mhm.
caramelization going on there. Well, then you have these chicken breasts. It's like supposed to be the the highest protein, lowest anything else on the chicken and all that. Of course, there's no carbs, and unfortunately, there's lower fat. But some people are like, yeah, fat. But anyway, so you got
Fat's not
barbecue
altogether
chicken.
bad. Fat's
Yeah.
not altogether bad. It's
Hmm.
good to have. In fact, one of the things, if anyone ever tries carnivore, one of the things they warn you about, it's like if
Uh
you
huh.
do that,
You got to
uh,
up that fat.
incorporate fatty meats. Do not. It's like do not ever do carnivore with just lean meats. That's a
Hmm.
huge mistake that can be quite harmful very
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah, I mean that's why people go through the whole keto flu or keto fog and all that stuff like that is because they're not replacing that that quick fuel of carbs. Well, carbs isn't really a quick fuel, but it is a fuel that your body craves.
Absolutely.
But if you can, you need to up your amounts of fats, which is that fast acting fuel, very short term fuel.
Anybody tell you that carnivore is all you should do is kind of being retarded, I think, because it's like, look, add fruits and vegetables. That's good. Those things are good for you. That's like pretending those things are not good for you is kind of insane.
Hmm.
Uh, yes, of course you want to. I mean, look, there's no such thing as a food you shouldn't moderate. To be honest, I mean,
Right.
every food should be moderated in some form or fashion because you're gonna get too much of something if you just eat one thing. Uh, and that's never good. It's like we're built to you know, ingest a variety of like minerals and carbohydrates and fibers and things like that. It's like your body needs all that stuff. Uh, but obviously it's like, a lot of the options we have out there now, which sadly tend to be the cheaper options,
Hmm.
are things that have no nutritional value that just have taste.
Right.
Or they have very minimum levels of the things you need and but they taste really good. So yeah, finding a good dietary balance it's really hard sometimes. It's good to have like 'cause I don't want to people to get the impression I'm like some bastion of health or anything like that. I've got plenty of my own issues that I've dealt with, like as far as like eating and dietary stuff and things like
Hmm.
that. But I've done a good amount of research on the matter too, because it's like, look, when you put yourself in a bad place, it's like you have to start doing research if you want to fix it. You have to start uh doing the legwork it takes to actually correct those errors. And I think it's good to like say, okay, what are some basic level foods? What's a basic meal I can put together that's going to give me most, if not all, of what I need? And it's something you can default to
Hmm.
while you're trying to figure out what you can add. I think that's always a good idea is find a basic level type of meal. And then it's like, okay, this is my default meal. If I can't think of anything else, and look, chicken is almost certainly going to be a part of that. I think broccoli is a good thing to add into there. Uh, it's and I'm not saying I have the perfect formula or anything like that,
Right.
but uh, and obviously people's needs are going to be different as well. Like some people have certain allergies and whatnot too. But uh, figuring that out first, I think is probably a really good step. And then, like I said, yeah, find some things you can add. I mean, if you're trying to lose weight, I mean, you know, I'm sorry, like this the most workable system is diet diet as in low calorie intake and exercise. There's
Yeah.
your base level right there. It's like it's not there's no real big secret. It's like all of the best diets revolve around one thing: decrease your calorie intake and exercise. Particularly the former. It's like
Hmm.
decreasing your calorie intake is the cheat code because I mean
You can't
that
outrun a
it's
bad
really that
diet.
simple. It's like decreasing your calories is that's going to work. It's like that will work. It's like you will have to alter over time to where you're probably doing less and less, depending on where you're starting from. The thing is, the more you weigh, the higher your starting point technically can be at, if you
Yeah.
want to start losing weight, but you're going to have to kind of you're going to keep working downward and downward and downward as you go if
Yeah.
you're wanting to continue to lose weight because you'll
Or you'll
plateau at a
plateau.
certain
Yeah.
point. Right. It's basically like the bigger you are, the higher the higher the amount of calories is to sustain your current weight.
Hmm.
Uh, so like I said, if you keep weaning yourself down off of that, it's like, okay, you're gonna lose weight here, you're gonna lose weight here. If you're adding exercise, that's gonna cause you to lose some. And you'll just have to kind of continually decrease it over time. But
Yeah.
it's
Modifying your
anybody
diet.
trying to sell anyone trying to sell like a big secret as far as weight loss is concerned, it's like that's it. It's really kind of that simple. Now if you're wanting to do other things, like if you're wanting to like build muscle and do like certain kind of body shaping, it's like, okay, then you're going to have to get into a whole different realm of research and science and stuff, and talk to
Mhm.
somebody like our buddy Nick Plot Strikes Back, who knows a bit about stuff, because there's probably going to be like supplemental and exercise regimens you're going to have to put yourself on if you're wanting to do all that stuff. But uh yeah, as far as like losing weight's concerned, it's like it's really just about calorie reduction. That's how you do it. I mean, that is the most common sense way to pull that off, and there's really no way around that.
No, it's that is your most simple and basic answer, and unfortunately, that is one of the hardest pills to
It is.
swallow in dieting.
I would tell you though, it's if you want to decrease your calorie, like, because look, it's America. Well, I mean, and this is the food that gets thrown around rightly. That is the one you probably everyone should X out of their diet at some point is soda. There's so much sugar in soda, and it's really terrible for you. And look, some people are like, it's really hard for me because I really love soda. It's like here's what I would suggest: stop drinking it for 2 weeks, and then go to the 0 calorie, because not only is that obviously a lower calorie version without the sugar, um, it actually, while you may dislike the taste right this second, you'll get used to it. Like if you're off of the actual stuff for 2, 3, 4 weeks, and then you drink like zero sugar soda, it tastes the same. You won't miss it. You really won't. I recently, somebody suggested like because I had not drank soda in a long time. I went like several months and just drank none of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh, and I was at my brother's house, and it was for a holiday, and he didn't have any water, and he was like, well, but we do have like diet soda and everything, and I was like, well, it's 0 calories, so that's fine. Like when I took myself off soda, I was like, I didn't think much about 0 calorie soda because I never drank it.
Hmm.
Uh, but I was like, but if that's the only thing available, that's fine because it's nothing. It's like there's no calories. It's just got taste. And I drank it, and I was like, I think it was like from Aldi's. It was like their kind of Coke Zero thing,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is actually really good. I was like, this actually. I was kind of surprised when I drank it. I was like, this just tastes like soda. And I was like, this
Hmm.
is 0 calorie soda. It's like, yeah. It's like, okay, I can see why you all buy it. This just tastes like soda. And he's like, kind of does to us too. I was like, well, shoot, that's great.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
opens up
It
more
kind of made
choices
me
for
sit
you.
there and think, yeah, it made me think, it's like, well, shoot, there's really no reason to drink a sugary soda ever again. If this is what we're at now with 0 calorie soda, there's no reason to drink a sugary one ever.
So, two things I'll say, like when it comes to people who are saying, like referring back to the carnivore diet or keto, any of these, or fruitarian, anything like that, which is funny. Uh, like the carnivore people who are telling you about carnivore, who don't mention that you have to eat the organ meats to get the other parts of the animal that you need in your diet.
Yeah.
Those people are liars.
Yeah,
vegetarians.
that is something that if you're wanting to go long term with carnivore, yeah, you're gonna pretty much have to
Mhm.
start eating like liver and other stuff like that.
You can get it ground up and put into pills, but yeah. So that's it goes also to the vegetarians who are taking forms of plankton supplement to give them a full protein,
Hmm.
more complete protein, and help them out. And they're saying, "No, I'm 100% vegetarian. And I'm a bodybuilder." Yeah, it's like, yeah, dude, I don't care. I know what you're doing to yourself. I know what you're doing, and you're also supplementing it uh, with these powdered forms of X, Y, and Z. Like that's fine,
Vegans confuse they confuse the crap out of me. I don't understand their mindset. Like
Yeah.
most vegans are kind of like they have an environmentalist attitude also, and I'm like, well, then why is it okay to eat plants? Like seriously, I know it's a meme, it's a joke, but I'm like, I actually do wonder. It's like, why do you think it's okay to eat plants but not animals? Aren't I mean, plants are alive.
Yeah.
Like that, it's
It,
like they're not alive in the same way. So I guess like if your argument is like a lack of consciousness, that's I'm like okay, but I'm like okay, but animals are not conscious the way humans are conscious, so there's a difference there too. But I don't know. I think veganism is utterly retarded.
well,
It's
I
so
agreed
retarded.
there, and then the other part is, so I thankfully I've found people who are they do indeed push the carnivore thing and all that, but they make quick note that hey, this isn't for everybody, and as far as like they believe you should eat as clean as possible. Try to try to go to your local market, or try to grow it. You can grow it yourself, and do your best with your meats and all that. And yeah, that it really isn't for everybody, because there's a lot of people who are actually they end up being restricted to just carnivore diet because their body is so genetically screwed up
Mhm.
to the point where they react poorly to to this and that. Like they notice that their feet smell, and that and their adult acne returns whenever they start eating too many types of berries and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But nothing great is coming out of a high fiber diet. That is not a thing. As far as like that's a myth. That is a myth that eating stuff that your body rejects is a cool thing to do. It might help people get some movement. You can get the same thing from eating, a little bit extra animal fat, or fatty things from animals, or getting an avocado, and getting the oils that are inside of that. That's great. But so if you're following anybody who says no, this is the natural human diet, and they don't go any farther, they never give you the disclaimer like, hey, this isn't for everyone, then you're probably following the wrong person as far as for diet advice. But I will never endorse something that's like even the flour that we use. It's not flat. It's been through so many processes, and bromination, all this, just to and bleaching, and all these things just to make it shelf stable. And it's pretty freaking ridiculous. But they have to re-add in a chemical version of these things to actually call it food at a certain point, and then it's called flour.
Mhm.
So we take a lot of things and we disfigure the hell out of it for the safety, for safety and for travel. And yeah, that's always been a big deal to me. But and then the other thing is, so my sister-in-law went, for a long time. We all grew up at the same workplace. Um, the one that's married to my brother. We all worked in the same place, so we were all surrounded by Coke, by Coca-Cola product,
Mhm.
and we all kind of grew up on it. It was like, it's that relief drink. But then, of course, when I was a kiddo, I grew up on, I'd say 70% of what I drank, maybe more, was all soda. So I knew no better, and I was just like, I was a fiend about it, but then as you get older, and you start becoming more, sugar sensitive, insulin sensitive, you're like, maybe like, drinking this can of this stuff is like, shouldn't be all day, every day, because, it's like you start getting tired, or you have to have it all the time. so you become pretty addicted to it. But
Mhm.
anyways, she finally got to the point after 30 plus years of drinking Coca-Cola to drinking Diet Coke. And then she did that for a few years. And then when she went back to tasting, regular Coca-Cola, she was like, how could I have drank this like liquid sugar cane right into your mouth kind of thing? Like how could I have drank this at one point? It's ridiculously sweet. And then
I mean, I would
she,
say this, if you actually look up like a picture where it actually shows the amount of sugar just like even in a can
it's
of soda,
sickening. It's
it's
sickening.
you're just like, "Oh my gosh." It's like you see the grams on the back of a can. I don't know
Hmm.
if we ever think about how much that is. We probably know in the back of our heads like that's probably way too much, but when you actually see it like physically, it's alarming. It's so alarming.
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh my gosh, I just consumed how much." I mean, because some people will down like 2, 3, 4 Cokes in a row, and
Ugh,
it's
yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
But
And
you're like, "I just ate how much sugar? Oh my gosh."
keeping what they have to do to it to keep it from unmixing basically is
Yeah.
another thing. But then she eventually got onto just drinking unsweet tea, and then went back to the tried to go back to the diet cokes, and then she was like, well, now these taste too sweet to her. So in the end, for her, it's a benefit because it's just like, if worse comes to worse, I can have a diet coke or a diet whatever at some point. But for her, it's now got to the point where just drinking regular unsweetened tea is a thing. And this is a person who has lost, now she's lost, over lost a hold of me, basically
Oh,
at this
wow.
point. So, without having to get on, injections. And it all came from she's a person who just hates the shit out of meat. Like she's very finicky about meat, like she can't eat any seafood. So that's all cut out. She just hates it.
Mhm.
Uh cannot eat. She had a hard time getting into steak for a long time, and chicken got ruined for her for a few years because she got served like a bad piece of chicken, and she let that mentally affect her for a long time. And then one time, Burger King had their beef patties with a big blue print on it of the BK symbol in blue on meat. That was a thing for a little bit, where their patties had a BK on it. They did that for a couple of months. And when she saw blue meat, she was like, oh, so that stopped her on meat for a while. So, anyways,
Understandable.
that just makes it really hard when you're trying to diet. Like you can't. Good luck keeping the same amount of food that it takes to keep your body at that weight going, and then trying to do it on what do you have left. So for a majority of it, poor thing just had to eat eggs, as for her protein, and just hope that she can eat, enough eggs. And then you get tired of eggs pretty fast. So, she had to up the different types of meat that she took in, and also just mainly focus on what you were saying earlier. Like lower calorie intake and portion control, because she's not all about doing a ton of exercising. So she had to definitely cut back, but it's had to cut back in moderation, as far as like she started up here being able to take in like at that weight she was able to take in like 2,700 calories a day. Now she's to the point where it's like 1,400 calories, because she knows that she doesn't work out enough to justify it any more than that. So trying to basically use that 1,400 calories to the best of her abilities, and getting the most nutrients out of it is her thing now. And it just her weight has went, like I said, it's been over 150 pounds lost, from, and that was all that extra weight because of these canned pleasures that we have, and these quick fixes for your mood and attitude and all that, because it becomes a big crutch. A lot of food becomes a big crutch. um and you're eating right now, you fucking bastard. No, I'm kidding.
No,
But
I'm not. I'm not
uh
eating.
uh-huh.
I'm not eating.
Okay, okay.
I was typing something,
No,
but
no,
I was
no.
like,
Okay,
"I'm not."
okay. Sorry. It came back as a chewing sound. I'm like, Oh, is me
I was like,
talking about this making
that's
you
my
hungry?
keyboard. I
was like-
don't have any food
I was like,
in front of me right now.
we just destroyed everything. Oh, okay. But yeah. So earlier, when I was talking about the quality of meal that ends up getting based around something good, like a piece of chicken, something gets covered in something sweet like a barbecue sauce, and then well, chicken and macaroni goes really good together. A pasta salad goes really good together. So you've already got that. Chicken and rice. Rice is good, but I tell you what, you can load up on too much of it really quick and kind of defeat the purpose. That's it turns into a shit ton of rice people can eat. Just gallons of the stuff. It's satisfying and easily flavored. And then you got mashed potatoes, chicken, rice, mashed potatoes. Great, yeah. Well, then potatoes are okay. But they're the starch turns into a sugar. Eventually over time, and it's not exactly the most nutrient filled food, but I don't know. It seems like whole cultures that survived off of potatoes end up turning into alcoholics. But that's just to be funny, but it kind of happens. Cultures that end up having to survive off of mainly corn and all the things that you can do with corn end up being shaped totally different from the get-go because they've survived so long off of that now they just kind of look like that and they're born with these needs and wants. People who are different races who have been put on, say, government food only that is just high carbs and preservatives end up having a problem with alcohol for some reason. End up having a problem with their body shape, with trying to ever lose weight because they want to look a certain way and they'll never be able to get there because their body is like literally to the point where well we have friends who uh are different races, not many, but we have a few. No, I'm kidding. And we have a few of our friends who, when they tried to go doing nothing but animal fat and animal products and stuff like that, and really cut out everything else, they had started frying their kidneys. There are people that have just grown over, all these centuries that their families have eaten a certain way because of the location. Maybe you have more fish in your diet, and without it, then you end up becoming more sickly, over time and stuff like that. That is just a fact that you do have to eat, based also on your genetics. But that doesn't justify you taking a Tupperware bowl out of the fridge and filling it full of cornflakes and a pound of sugar to go on top of it. I'll throw some berries in there or something because I'm fucking healthy, and then downing that whole thing and being like, well, I don't know, but just because you need some carbs in your diet doesn't mean that that's how you do it. And
Yeah.
a lot of these foods are touted as these are heart healthy, and if you haven't looked up any of the science behind that and any of the paid science behind it, or the fact that it's paid, you gotta I really want people to kind of learn about that. It is a big deal. Anyways, yeah, sorry I got off on a food tangent here. But I've been meaning to talk because we had a few days where I think and me and others have congratulated Gord on his on good dedication there, and the fact that he went so long without any type of soda, which is no matter what, even if it's diet, it also is one more thing for your for your body to filter out because of mixture of dyes and all the process that it takes to stabilize these things and the chemicals that are inside of it. There is still stuff in there, but Gord stayed away, from these sodas for a long, I said way longer than I ever have. And also,
Yeah,
dude,
I think I was off. I think I was off soda completely for 4 months. I think it was something like that.
yeah. How many
Along with
balls
a
were
bunch
we
of,
up to?
huh?
How many balls were we up to?
Yeah, I think it was like some people were like, "What is he talking about?" Um, so I have to. I guess I have to explain this. So I found. So okay, so me, Vex, Cannoli, and Whitey, talk pretty much daily, and I let them know I was like, hey, I'm gonna be staying off this stuff, and I'm gonna kind of just keep myself accountable by, putting the day I'm on. And I started at first just kind of typing it, and then I saw that I was like, well, maybe I'll just do a GIF, and a GIF that signifies the day I'm on. And as I started to type the number into the GIF search bar, I started to notice that there's these, like, for almost every number, which I don't even know how many there are, you'll see like a cat doing something silly, and it'll say balls 10, balls 11, balls 12, and this like
It just
goes
kept
into the
going.
it goes into the hundreds, and I was like, who who makes these? But
Oh,
there's so many of them, and I was like, well, shoot, let's see how far we go for a little while. Now the holidays kind of threw that off. Like I actually want to probably, like, 'cause I've been a little less strict lately, because like I
mhm.
guess after holidays it just throws you for a little bit
It does.
where you, so I'd like I probably, it's like I do kind of want to get back to where I'm like not doing like any or most of that stuff. Uh but yeah, I mean there was it got up to like probably like into the 120s, I think, at least. But yeah, it's like there are so many of those little gifts with the cats that say balls one, balls two, balls three, balls four, and I'm like, I can't believe how many of these there
I can't
are,
believe
and that somebody dedicated the time to making all
I
of them.
thought you were making them at first. I was like, what? And then you explained like,
Yeah,
no, there's a
it's like,
balls for every day.
and I was like, I didn't make any of these. It's like there's a couple where it's actually hard to find the corresponding number,
hmm
uh, but almost every single number has one, and they're easy to find.
Yeah, I'd agree more with you there, Ransom, about Japan and all that. They're but Japan is also paying for some of their dietary sins, where they started doing, growing so much stuff for tofu, like all the soy that, they've got going on, that I think they've kind of let themselves get into, the soybean plant is poisonous, without processing, it's kind of like, um, God, like what is that? Poke salad, like you can fix here in the South, people, it's like it's a literally a bunch of a plant that you have to boil and clear out the water 3 times before you can actually turn it into greens. And they're like, oh, and poke salad, it's so good. You throw some hog jaw in there, and it's really good. Tell you what, by God, hell. Guess what? If you got to boil something 3 freaking times to make it manageable to eat, and I'm not saying just because a plant is, has some type of, is protects itself, that it's, necessarily bad for you, because that's how some people try to justify like meat only because plants are trying to, defend themselves, and they'll put out things to, not like tomatoes, which we have mixed over time to make them into bigger and more RT, yeah, and weather resistant. Tomatoes are one of those things where, yeah, the plant is part of the nightshade family, and it can, the leaves. A lot of animals don't eat the leaves. Bugs will, but a lot of animals won't eat the leaves because it doesn't taste good to them. It's kind of potato, leaves and all that. They don't like them because it has some type of irritant about it. But the fruit it produces, though, is very, very manageable on your gut, and has a lot of benefits. So, but it just seems, of course, the more that's going on with Japan, they're kind of like South Korea, or yeah, more South Korea, where in the way that they are fascinated with making quick and easy process things, like
Mhm.
meals that you pull a string on and it heats itself up and makes this, has its own little self heating deal, like some type of awesome, cool MRE and all that, that isn't actually issued to a lot of soldiers and all that, as far as, like a self contained meal. That we do have meals where you can put something in a bag that, the bag will heat up, and you can do it that way. But, anyways, point being that there are these meals that kids can get, and they somehow responsibly over there in Japan will use these things, pull a tab, and you have your whole meal heated up for you, and that's cool. But
Mhm.
there's so many microplastics that get into your gullet and, into your system, with these, heating up plastic is exactly what we've found out over the years that isn't good for you. So that's an issue. It's a hard to escape issue because my favorite coffee cups, are quick and easy. You snap on a lid, and they're made of plastic, and they're durable. That the bottoms of them don't suddenly leak out. You don't. It's hard to bump into anything, and the whole cup doesn't just crush in itself and break and spill your precious coffee on you. But it's not necessarily it's not a good idea because these things are always breaking down. They also say with something like coffee, every now and then I'll use a little bit of milk or cream or whatever in it to help kind of get my fats in because I can tell whenever I need some calories coming in. But that stuff, anything that's left behind, if you don't clean it that day and every day, all the seals in all of our plastic cups are, usually you have like a piece of rubber that breaks down. And whatever is on that rubber, that gasket to help, seal the cup, that stuff is breaking down. You're getting it. And also behind there, if you ever take those off, you'll notice that there is a band of black, and that is the rubber seal breaking down, plus also all the tannins from the coffee. Tannins from the coffee, you can usually handle them, but what happens is behind those walls, holy shit, people calling today. Behind those
Oh my gosh.
wall of all the tannins that are built up there, is is bacteria. It's old drink. It's your old spit, whatever's left over from your body, and just existing and should be breaking down. And unless you're watching that with, some other corrosive thing that helps break down your cup, all that over and over and over, it's really hard to escape some of this shit. And we are really built on a system of, unless you're carrying around like a glazed clay pot, jug, like you're, from the hills, and you want to turn up a swig of moonshine, it's really hard to escape having a coffee container, a thermos, or anything to keep your water in. That's just how it is, and I think Japan is paying a price for all the beautiful convenience and cool things in Japan, and how much they had to work on as a people to recover their economy and be innovative. And a lot of pollution happened in Japan at one time, not nearly as bad as like China or India, but they went through a long time where they were having some California skies, there where like the 70s and 80s, California skies before a lot of the smokestacks started having things incorporated in them to more filtering of whatever's being processed. Nowadays, when a lot of people see fog and smog in the sky, a lot of it is um, either leftover, like a lot of it is just like factories producing a lot of steam, billows of steam, and all that through the process of stopping the smoke from getting out from whatever they're processing. Um, a lot of people will see that and it automatically, in their mind, they're like, well, that's smog, that's smokestacks and all that. And a lot of it is actually just, nope, those are new clouds being created and all that. Now, how good those filters do or not, but I do know, like in California, they had a form of ammonia to diesel trucks, to their 18 wheelers out there to help turn the smoke white because it's more pleasant to the eye. And it causes, if you have to do any work or shipping, even though you might live in like Texas and you have to do a route through California, you have to be compliant to that too. I don't know if that rule is still in place, but it's been around for a while, and it makes a lot of people not want to do shipping with California unless it's really worth the money, which raises prices. But anyway, I think Japan, is paying for that health wise with their population decrease
Well, their
and birth
population
rate.
also is, yeah, they're just not having enough kids. That's the main problem.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They could get,
They're
yeah,
not
yeah,
able
they could
to.
get I don't even know if it's an able thing. I think a lot of it is I think a lot of I mean, like South Korea, it's a culture problem more than anything. I would have to look into Japan a little bit more to know if it's also a culture problem there too. Uh, I tend to lean it probably is because it's kind of a problem with all Western countries at the moment is we're not having enough babies. It seems to be a problem throughout. Like we're having this problem right now. Uh, I don't know if we're quite below replacement rate now, but we're
Mhm.
trending that way. We're certainly trending that way. Uh, it's funny. Anybody who's like trying to throw out like alarmist nonsense, like the world's gonna get overpopulated, it's like they don't know anything about birth rates. It's like no
No.
population. We're more likely to hit a point of drastic population collapse within the next 50 or so years. It's 50 or 100 years. It's uh could be quite bad actually. Live to see it, we might, but it's gonna happen. At least it's like we're likely to see it happen in some countries before we're gone. I don't know how wide the scale will be by the time we're out of here, but uh we're not trending in a good direction, that's for sure.
No.
Especially
That
for wanting to maintain kind of a Western values and everything, because the cultures that are reproducing are the ones that are like not so Western. So
yeah. We're now getting into generations that have been put on birth control at one
mhm.
point and then got off of it to get pregnant and then either get back on it until they become infertile and or whatever. We're getting into generations that are I just don't believe there are certain foods that we're incorporating into a diet to where you have a family, entire a generation being born, already needing and having attending to like wanting a highly processed or which leads to usually a carb filled diet. Where I think it's a big contributor. Now, there is, of course, people's lifestyles, the whole life and stuff like that. But uh, I just I'm feeling like a lot of people who are into a lot of convenience and over the generations and who have done things and worked in certain fields and done this and done that. I mean, you end up getting a lot of those things that change your body, that you have to that your body can't always get back out. There's a reason why you a lot of the tobacco fields, like a lot of people who work tobacco fields, have medical issues later on, unless you're using, proper protection. And even then, it's hard to get off you. But the amount of pesticides, kind of end up adding up. Amazingly enough, it's crazy. But your body can't, filter all that. Um, it's getting all over your skin. It's in your lungs. You're sweating it, and it's getting pulled back into your body back and forth until your body can naturally get rid of it later. um your skin will burn because of the irritants, like just from picking and sticking tobacco, if you've ever had the pleasure of doing such. uh and when you don't know that you're supposed to, if you worked around any people who have more experience in it, there's a reason that they wear long sleeve during the hottest part of summer. They're over there wearing long sleeves and gloves, is because they know after years that they don't want that crap on them, and they just in general feel better, even if they don't know why it makes them feel better. But uh kind of crazy, kind of crazy. Anyway, sorry, I'll go through here on the comments really quick and then we'll start wrapping it up. I think a lot of it is to contraception too. World condoms. Meanwhile, they have vending machines in the country that sell fresh food in an actual bowl made of clay. Oh, I've not even heard of that. And yeah, Mr. Ransom, yeah. When it comes to the California sunsets, they were, in so many movies, there it was just a thing. Like the exact hue and everything was determined because of so much production going on down there that was very unfiltered and causing a lot of issue. And India and China, a lot of those places are still in full go mode about that. Like they're just like, nah, we're gonna do it, and they're gonna earn some good money off of it, but it is, of course, detrimental. A lot of them don't exactly care about the wellness of their citizens, though, so it's not a big deal for them. Um, yeah, let's see. Contraception and abortion are a big reason why Europe is having replacement issues. Yeah, because Europe,
Called feminism. Feminism.
one of the biggest things I can ever say about Europe is I do hate it for, visitors who come over here or people who immigrate over here. Like I can always tout America, we make everything better, bigger and better and all that. And we do, I've introduced, like my British boss and his wife to all kinds of sorts of things, but also at the same time, every one of them that I've introduced them to is like a detriment to their body. It's like he's like, I didn't know fucking cake tastes like this. It's like everything that we feed them is just. I mean, in the end, it's like the dude
It's
came
like
over here.
it's like putting nitro fuel into like a Yugo or something like that. It's like, what are we doing?
The other day I came in, I saw he had made himself a pizza. That it has a good rounded about nutrients and all that, but way too many carbs. But what it is, what it is. But on top of that, he had French fries and ranch dressing poured on all of it. I was like, "What the fuck are you
Wow.
doing?" Like you went even more American than me, bro. Like, what are you doing? And he's like, "Oh," he goes, this is a thing, but yeah, boy, it tastes even better over here in America." I'm like, "Yeah, because of because it's cake full of sand." Okay, like so I found him a place that where you can order online that is like specifically geared towards Europeans that have moved here, and it's to help you find like they're just local. Sorry, they're a wholesaler that gets all of the ingredients and all the things and makes as many traditional types of foods that Brits, depending on what country, mostly British and German that you like, and they'll ship them right to you, so they can get the exact type of bacon that they like. Like our bacon and their bacon is apparently super different. They call theirs back bacon and all that. But it it helps them out. But anyway, the point of that story is like a lot of Europe is oddly enough not so bought out. They didn't have the same revolution of of their food industry getting just absolutely bought out, and the government bought out by the food industry to make choices for our diet and craft America around it. So they try to keep their foods a lot more strict, and I can totally understand that. And in the end, it's better that you do because we have. I mean, a lot of them are still over there boiling, boiling steaks and like that. You fucking weirdos. But that it their food is always going to be unfortunately higher quality at times. It's it's one thing that America needs to do a lot better on compared to Europe. Let's see. And lastly, let's see. Well, that and long sleeves protect for them. Yeah, the sun. Yeah, but boy, I crave the sun so much. I love it. Okay, so Gord, is there anything else you need to bring up today?
No, I think I'm good.
I was going to talk to you more about the Christian stuff, but I ended up
Got
just
bogged down
going.
in food.
Yeah, I got bogged down in the mashed potatoes. Yeah, seeing your two people over here talking about sweet bread and shite. Anyway, well, and also I didn't have a defined thing that I wanted to bring up exactly about Christianity, other than just random points that I had listened to this week. And without that, I don't want to put the audience through me just being like, yeah, so
Yeah,
Jesus,
it's not a
man.
subject. It's not a subject wanting. Don't want a hodgepodge of stuff. I guess the only thing I could say that I learned definitively, and this is a really short one that I
Hmm.
wasn't even really aware of. I did not know this, but the Orthodox don't celebrate Easter the same week we do because they don't go by the Gregorian calendar.
I did not know that.
I didn't either. So, like as I saw Andrew Wilson like tweeted out, "Happy Easter, you Protestant retards," like
Oh,
as a
okay.
joke. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, I thought it was funny, but I was like, wait a minute. I was like, it's not Easter for them. I was like, I know they celebrate Easter. Then I saw people like, yeah, our Easter's like after, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And so is their Christmas. Uh, so
I had seen
apparently,
that same tweet. I was like,
so
well, that's a little.
apparently, because Israel brought this up to me. He actually knew this. Israel's kind of going down a similar road that I am right now, like kind
Okay.
of learning some of the same stuff. We actually didn't know. Our buddy John, who was in the movie chat with us the one time, he actually looked into Orthodoxy a while back, and
Yeah, you had
so
mentioned
he's
that.
right. So he knew a lot of this stuff already. I'm like, dude, you sat on this, but um,
Right.
he uh he brought up that apparently their Christmas is like January 7th. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, wait a minute. So January 6th is Christmas Eve if you're Orthodox? That's amazing. That's like way funnier now.
How do they work that with work? I wonder. You know?
I don't know. I would assume that's probably that's something you work out individually, I
Yeah, yeah.
guess. But yeah, apparently, yeah, that is a thing. Because like I looked it up and like there's a couple athletes that I'm aware are Orthodox, like Novak Djokovic, he's Orthodox. Nikola Jokic is he's Orthodox, and I looked because somebody brought that up. I saw somebody brought that up about him recently, and I looked him up, and there was a quote from him where people were talking about Christmas, and he's like, "Well, it's actually not my Christmas yet. Our Christmas is like in a couple of weeks." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I didn't realize
Okay,
that."
that's why I said that. Yeah, okay.
I think there's like a 2 week difference or something like that. So I guess the Orthodox like Easter is like next week. I'm not positive though.
So my freaking calendar's heretical.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh man, it's been a good journey though. It's
Yeah,
been
it's Orthodox Easter falls on the 12th, so this Sunday.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Um,
I was like,
yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah. I've been in the best going down the best rabbit hole here lately with all that. So it's been doing nothing except for furthering my faith and
Yeah.
bettering me for battles and stuff like that. So I've been very happy about it, and it also makes you question all your previous knowledge and kind of refine that too, so that way you can
Yeah, it
get.
changed. Yeah, for me it has been rattling a lot of my foundations and preconceived notions that I had. So it's like the one video I guess that you and I talked a little bit about off
Hmm.
stream, I like the term the woman used to describe like where she's at. She said she's inquiring. And I was
Yeah,
like, yeah, that at least can kind of give me a descriptor of I guess where I'm at right now is I would consider myself, I guess, inquiring because yeah, a lot of the stuff I believed at its foundations, like I'm a lot less certain of at the moment. So uh parts of it are kind of scary, but it's also really, really interesting as well. It's a very it's a very rich and it's beliefs. Like I feel like I'm actually learning more about Christianity that I just previously didn't, conceive of.
yeah. I was in the way of, and I doubt this is the same for you, but like for the longest time, whenever I heard like of church fathers and anything like that, I automatically tune out. When I heard anything that was a little bit too close to what I consider like Catholic, I'm like, nope, tune it out. Bye. Like I automatically think of papalism and stuff. Like I automatically think of the Pope and all that, and how much I think that's just a big bag of bullshit. No offense to people who love popes and all that, but I just if you've seen what you have currently going on, then and you think like, yeah, that's the voice, that's our voice right there, buddy. Then that's a you problem. Um, but anyway, so as soon as I heard anything like that, I automatically tuned out. And that was a me problem because you just, a lot of us, I gotta say, and kind of smack myself here, but our current Bible is the way that a lot of us think of it, say, King James and New King James or Old King James, whatever. Uh, the ye old King James is only so old.
Hmm.
It's a lot younger than the way that it's put together is a lot younger than I knew. Just didn't even
Which
question it.
I mean, well, heck, just even our 66 book canon, it's like when you learn that it's like how the canons were put together and everything. It's if you're a Protestant at the time, it's just like if you once you learn like how all that was put together, uh, it's like that should raise some red flags for you because it's like, well, why are these books not part of it? Because I know like the Orthodox and Catholic canons are a bit larger, like a 70 some odd books, not just the
Hmm.
60s. Um, and like I was thinking about this. It's not just the arguments I hear in favor of orthodoxy that I find compelling. It's the concessions from Protestants that I find especially
Yeah,
interesting
telling.
because yeah, because it's like whenever I see Jay uh debate a lot of Protestants, he like when he brings up certain aspects of like church history and how the canons were formed and everything like that, there's a lot of concessions to his points. And I was like, well, wait a minute, do you not recognize the entailments of making those concessions like that? Like that's a big deal that you're saying he's right about this. I mean, because it's kind of what I was curious about. It's like when I'd start watching some of these debates that he'd have with these people, is like, okay, how much are they going to push back and disagree with him on? Uh, the number of times they're like, "Oh no, I know that's true and everything, but da da da," and I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! You're agreeing with this part being true? That's kind of huge."
Yeah.
And you know, obviously he'll pin them down on it and start pointing that out at it. But like me, who's kind of inquiring at the time, I'm like, "Whoa, whoa! What? You're all not even disagreeing with him?" Because I guess I had been brought up to believe that there was an alternative take on some of this history. It's like, no, no, there really isn't that. It's like they actually agree that, oh yeah, a lot of that is how it went down. But, and I was like, what do you mean, but? It's like if that is how it went down, then you're kind of admitting that these criticisms have a lot of ground. It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
And then it turns into like, well, then you're just turning it into what you want it to be.
Yeah,
Uh,
it really makes the
taking
criticism that
interpretation really far there, buddy, you know?
well, yeah, well, it's yeah, the criticism that there's a lot of self-interpreting from Protestantism. That's like, yeah, that appears to be very. I mean, it was true before I even started getting into listening to some of this stuff. Uh, it's even more telling now. It's like, whoa, this is a big problem actually because it really does. It's like even when you go back to the history of it and everything, it seems like yeah, a lot of these people were just kind of self-interpreting, and that's what tends to happen when you tell people that they don't have to uh listen to the church and listen to church authority and everything as they start self-interpreting. And it's like that's not a good thing. That's
Right.
really not a good
That's
thing.
your personal Jesus, you know, that's your
Hmm.
just yeah, it's not clay. It is not, you know. By the way, sorry, I really quickly got to mention over here on the sidebar politics trending. Stop him and politics trending. Taco.
Yeah, I have the same thing. Taco, stop him. That's I have it in that order. Taco, stop him. Taco, you know what to do.
Is there a comma in here? Taco, comma, bitch.
We're
Stop him.
counting on you, Taco.
Or wait, stop him. Or are they talking about stopping Taco? Well, I don't know. I don't think that we could ever endorse stopping tacos, but oh shit. Okay. All right. Well, I'll go through here. I've kept you a good while today. Let's see. Let me go through here. All right. Some douchebag named White Bear Steam Games came in here. Some let's see, crazy person who kicks small puppies named Papa Pumpkin came in here. Oh, there we go. Good
Hey, I
Nelly
know that guy.
Sasquatch, Gabagool, you crowned all over our chat. We miss you. We hope that you have a great day. And also, it's your last day of work before vacation. So go you. Congratulations. You haven't died yet. Let's see. Senior Ransom, you've stuck around like a champ from almost the very beginning there. Good to see you. And I hope that your day is going groovy. Jay Goodwin, always good to see you, sir. I hope that you stay heart healthy. Israel P. Good to see you, sir. And I'll try to reach out to you earlier next time. Let's say, and then just basically a mix mash. Okay, then we got Hosty Cakes came in here. Good to see you, senior host mine. And who else am I missing here? Oh, Waylon, Waylon, of course. It's good to see you, sir, and thank you for your insightful talks about chicken noodle soup. Let's see. And bam, 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 bam. I think we're all caught up. Okay. That's everybody. Stop him, drive through Taco Bell. There we go. All right. Gord, you have a freaking nice day. And
You as well, sir.
tell everybody I said hi. And chat, thank you so much for joining us today. Waka waka and drop it like it's hot.